Good morning, or I guess afternoon. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome. Welcome. I'm glad to have you. Man. Hi. Sorry for the delayed start. I was eating an apple, and it was a very good apple. It was so good. It was so good. Clearing these out. Sup? Sup? Can we go over the new Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay? Sure. Did it just drop? Did it just drop? Am I behind the curve? Let's see. Crispy, perfect time. I just got back from lunch. Hells yeah. I try. I try to time it perfectly. You know. So an apple is more important than me. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Let's see, Dragon's Dogma 2. Let's see. Oh, here. 18 minutes of Fighter Thief Warrior game. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I got that pulled up. We can do that. That looks fun. There. Okay. Oh yeah, if you're watching on YouTube and you like the stream, liking it does help more people come in and see it, so that would help. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Lots of people in here already. Glad to have you guys. You should grow a long beard out. Every time I've tried to do it, it just gets really puby. Which, yes, is the technical term. It's just like, it doesn't grow long. It just kind of grows out and looks like you just got a face full of pubes. So I don't know. I think if I were to like use beard oil and be like hyper obsessed with it, I could probably get it there, but I don't know. I just haven't gotten there yet. Beard balms, I've tried that, but here's the other thing. I have really oily skin. So if I use too much like moisturizer, or if I use beard balms or beard oils and stuff like that, it caused me to get like cystic acne, like deep in my skin. My skin hates it, really hates it. So it's a struggle. First world problems, right? First world problems through and through. Mark, good to have you, my friend. Yes, New Year's wishes to you too. Let's see. Did I see the AI upscale GTA 6 trailer? I did not. Did it look good? Was it like good AI upscaling, or was it garbage? Because there was that, who was it? There was it James Cameron? No. Maybe it was James Cameron. One of those directors, famous directors, just upscaled a bunch of his movies with like Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff. And the upscaled version looked terrible. It looked like the motion smooth stuff where like they smooth out the frame so it looks like 60 even though it was filmed in 24. It just ends up looking way worse. It's just, they need to stop messing with movies and with that stuff. Logan, also thank you for 5 months of support over on Twitch. 5 months. Oh baby, let's go. How's the room coming along? I know you regularly tweak the background and props and such. It's good. I need to build the Lego sets that we have in the background, just out of frame actually, but I've got Legos to build. I think Gringotts Bank is gonna go right here. And then I think the Hogwarts train is probably gonna go on this top shelf. And then all of these will move down into the lower shelves. So I just have to build this stuff. It's just a lot. They're big sets. Shayla, thank you also for the $4.99. Hey Luke, I'm a senior in high school. Congrats. And graduate soon. And do you think that coding is a good career for someone who likes computers, loves the streams? I will say my dad has like a bunch of degrees in all sorts of stuff. I don't really understand
Shayla
everything he does.
$4.99 through Super
Holla.
Chat. Hey,
But
Luke, I'm a senior in high school.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a great field to go into. And the nice thing is that you have so many branching options. Like you could go into game dev if you wanted. You could also go into like enterprise software development, which I've heard is very cushy. Like if you are a developer on like Salesforce or for Microsoft enterprise stuff, you get paid stupid well, and it's also pretty cushy, and you get stock options and stuff. It's just like a nice job. One of my buddies from high school, he became a software engineer and coder, and he lives in Broomfield, kind of close to me, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour away. But it's like Tech Central in Colorado, and the dude makes probably like $200,000-$300,000 a year, and it's just him living in like a little apartment, and he just saves all the extra money, and he's just doing his thing, like just rocking and rolling. You have to be very proactive with it. It's not assumed that just because you get that degree, you're going to make really good money. You have to specialize in something, and you have to like still grind it out and chase internships and stuff. But if you're proactive about it, you can be really successful with it. So I'd say definitely go coding if you like computers. And I mean, you'll be much better served than the people that like have spent all of this time and money on like literature degrees. I kid you not, one of my high school teachers, I'm gonna let you guess in chat. Everybody in chat, guess at what this guy taught, okay? Guess at what this guy taught. He had a degree in Romantic Spanish literature. What do you think he taught? What do you think he was a teacher for? It's even stupider than you probably think. Well, as long as it's romantic. Yeah. I don't even really know what that means, honestly, but he spent like 4 years getting a bachelor's degree in Romantic Spanish literature. No, nobody's got any yet. Yeah. PE, history, math, lit, art, academic riz. Yeah. Fan fiction. Yeah. He taught fan fiction. No, he taught Latin. Latin. You know that dead language? He taught Latin. So, yeah, that was probably like the most laughably useless degree I've ever heard of. I get it. He loved it, but like it would be one thing if he had rich parents and the rich parents were paying for it. This dude like took out lots of student loans and went into debt for it.
Radical Virgil donated $5 through Super Chat. Hey Luke, have you seen Star Citizen overpriced DLC that cost $48,000?
Oh yeah, I kind of remember hearing about that. I don't think we looked at it. Let me see if I can find it.
Genomansky is now a red flag.
Genomansky.
Have you seen Starfield GEF review? Your react would be great. Bashing on this game never gets old. Also Steam most innovative gameplay? Users trolling? LOL.
They might be, honestly. I don't know. I've not seen Starfield Girlfriend. I think GF is Girlfriend Review, I think that's the channel. I've not seen that yet, no. As for the Steam most innovative gameplay thing, yeah, that I found very surprising because literally nothing it does is new or novel. Like everything it does has been done by other games, in my opinion, better. So I honestly, I don't get it. Like I'm kind of with you. I don't know how you would argue that it's innovative, you know? Because literally everything that would be innovative about it has been done better by other games that are on Steam. So I don't get that one. Maybe it's trolling. Maybe it's just that nobody else really bothered to vote. But man, what a joke. The fact that everybody kind of agrees, like, okay, whatever, dude. I think that's pretty telling. Let's see. I'm trying to find the $48,000 48K. It's a ship pack. PC gaming. Okay, I guess we can do this. Jacob, new segment. Okay. Oh, it's good to be back. New segment. Okay. Here. So this news broke like right before Christmas, December 23rd ish, something like that. But basically the new Legatus 2953 pack in Star Citizen was unveiled. And this thing costs $48,000. $48,000. As this guy says, the pack costs more money than 3x the annual minimum wage salary in the US. Okay, let's just see what we're dealing with here. Let's see. So it's famous for its wide ranging pricing. It's available Q1. No, the Ascension rifle will be available Q1. Let's see if we can find this actually in the store. Game packages. Oh, good. It has a 30-day return period. Oh no, it says copyrighted content. What was copyrighted that we pulled up? Hold on, let me try resetting it. That's funny. What did we have pulled up that was copyrighted? That's weird. That was weird. Okay, well, so here it is. This is on their official website. It's a Javelin, a Pioneer, an 890 Jump, an Idris Frigate, another one. This is a P class, an M class, an Avenger Stalker, Avenger Titan, Avenger Titan Renegade, Warlock, Eclipse, Gladius, Gladius Valiant, Hammerhead, Reclaimer, Redeemer, Retaliator, Bomber, Saber, Saber Comet, Vanguard Harbinger, Vanguard Hoplite, Vanguard Sentinel, Vanguard Warden, Vulcan, Carrack, Crucible, Hornet, F7C Hornet, Wildfire, Super Hornet, Hornet Tracker, Hornet Ghost, Gladiator, Hawk, Hurricane, Terrapin, Kartu Al, Nox, Nox Q, MPUV Cargo, Personal Defender, Merchantman, Mustang Alpha, Mustang Beta, Mustang Delta, Gamma, Genesis Starliner, Hercules Starlifter. Bro, we're barely scrolled down. How many ships are in this pack? Oh my God. It's still going. I'm glad I stopped reading off all the names. Otherwise I would have just been going for days. And it also contains all of this. Wow. Hold on. Everything's popping off. I should see. Just a second, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Or you can pay $40 for the starter pack and play it that way. So this seems to be a just collection of everything, basically. This is like the everything possible pack that you could possibly want. So I guess it's like when you go on Steam and you just do the collection of everything, I guess is what it is. That's madness. Sean, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. That's what all those were. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Very generous. And welcome everybody who's a red flag now over on YouTube. And Sean, hey man, happy new year to you and everyone in chat. Also check your PayPal personal. Are you up for a quick chat via Discord about gaming, 1-2 dating web dates nightmares? Oh dude, if you guys have not been to members only streams, which we're going to be doing more now that we're in the new year, but Sean occasionally will come on to the members only streams, and one time he hopped on and told us one of the stories of his life, and the dude's got some stories, I'll tell you what. It's pretty pretty entertaining. But yeah, no, I'm of course always down for that. That's always a great time to chat and catch up with you. And I can pull that up. All my phones are on streaming mode. So everything's locked down, but let me see. But let's see. Hold on, it's asking for a password. Am I the only one that's had this where, like, if you have the newer iPhone, the space between the buttons gets super gross? Am I the only one with that? It's just the newer versions of the iPhones. It's driving me crazy. And then you said check that. I can try to do this. Oh my god, everything's so slow. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god. It's locking me out. I'm sorry, Sean. Sean! Not sure what it's doing. All hail Sean. Yeah. All hail Sean. Yeah, that is not a microtransaction. That is a macro transaction. That is ridiculous. Yeah, let's see, Sean. I'm not seeing anything pop up, Sean, on the PayPal side of things. Which is strange. I'm not sure. But either way, thank you, my friend. 10 gifted memberships. I'm sure also everybody appreciates that. That's fantastic. Can we even call this a microtransaction? Well, like, it's, so to be clear, for the memes, this is really funny. Okay, I also have to, please hold. I'm a professional. I have to adjust the game cam scene. I have to adjust this because I moved the camera, and so now I'm like weirdly angled forward. Oh god. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no. What did I do? What? Oh god. Did I break it? Everything's what did I do? Oh no. How did I do that? Oh no. It's all scaled wrong. Dude, what happened? Okay. I guess now you guys are seeing how the sausage is made, with stuff just kind of breaking in real time. Okay. I broke it so bad. Okay. Oops. Oh god. Oh goodness. Okay, then we could stretch this out, bring this more center. I think like that, and then crop this off and crop that off, and then crop this in. And then when we go here, it's centered again. But now it's slightly too big. That's okay. There we go. Okay, better. I'm a professional. Don't worry. I'm a professional. Yeah, Herobrine, I'm sorry. We were talking about Star Citizen in your absence. I'm so sorry. Oh goodness. Okay. Now I can switch this back, and now it's like kind of centered. Okay. But just to wrap this up real quick, like, it's easy for the memes to make fun of this, but as far as I can tell, this is literally like everything they sell. Like, this is ridiculous. It is the add everything to cart option, and I hope nobody's actually spending $48,000 for all of this stuff. But, you know, this is part of the reason Star Citizen has been so successful, is because they can get into headlines, and that generates more tips and more donations and stuff, or as they call it, pledges. And so they, as long as they're getting in the headlines, they're doing fine. And this is how they do it. They do something like this that kind of goes viral. People talk about it, gets them in the news. People start searching it again. Cause like, oh yeah, I wonder where Star Citizen is now. Let's go check it out. So they pull it up, and then they see this skin that looks cool. They spend 16 bucks on it, and boom, even though it was ridiculous and they don't anticipate anybody spending 48 grand on a bunch of ships, they got what they wanted, which was the 16 bucks from the casual player that might want this cool armor set. So yeah, it's certainly sensational. It's very sensational. It's not actually like, I don't think they're actually trying to sell people the $48,000 pack. If it was one ship for 48 grand, yeah, that's outrageous. But like, I think the most expensive ship that is going to be in the game, it's not even in the game yet, is this Javelin. And this thing's going to be stupid expensive, but it's just like freaking huge. It can fit like however many dozens of people. Technical overview, maybe per mount size, sitting, no. Hollow view. Oh, that's cool. It's going to do like a little 3D view. And it's going to chug while doing it. Oh, God. Why is it running all of this off the CPU? That's crazy. But yeah, it's just like a massive, massive ship. Max crew of 80 players. So 80 people. Like, that's what they're trying to sell this with. And two, is it's not for individuals. It's for like a group of players that are playing in a guild, basically, that all pay monthly like guild dues to each other, taking this game very seriously, and then go and spend like $100 every month for their guild, and they all pool their money and then buy something like this to play with in the game. That's who this is targeting. This is not targeting your Joe Schmo or your average casual gamer. The unfortunate thing is that it is kind of pay to win. Like, the amount of grinding involved to get this ship organically in the game is outrageous. It would take you like years of grinding, and they keep resetting stuff, so all of that currency is lost. And so it's still a little toxic, I think. I still like Star Citizen. I think it's really impressive in many, many ways, but it has a lot of shortcomings too, and stuff that I just find unfortunately quite toxic in terms of its monetization scheme. Let's fund this for Luke. No. No. Nobody needs to spend $48,000 on that. That's freaking hilarious. So the Legatus pack, it looks like it's, I guess they have it broken down here. It is 175 ships, over 175 ships, and a bunch of other stuff. And they are tracking it. 2018, this same pack was 27,000. 2021, it was 40. 2022, it was 42,000, and in 23, at the end of the year, it went to 48,000. So it's been getting more expensive, but presumably there's more ships in it as well. But it's still just crazy that like there are people that have spent this much. Maybe not all in one, but man, Luke would spend 48,000 on a Lego version of the Javelin though. Yeah. That I'd be. Can you imagine if you could fit 80 people inside a Lego set? Why not? Why not? It's in the personal one. Okay, I can try pulling up that one. But yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's just every time I've tried talking about GTA 5, it does worse and worse and worse. Like, people love the online game, but for whatever reason, people don't really talk or like talking or doing videos on the main story campaign stuff. Like, it just isn't very compelling for people, which is weird, because I would have thought that it would be just as popular, but no. It's odd. The whole thing is odd. Like, the discourse around GTA 5, people just are not that thrilled to discuss it anymore. It's called the Trevor effect. Yeah, GTA 4. Yeah, I've played GTA 4. GTA 4 is tremendous. I've played bits of like San Andreas, 3, all of those. But not like, I couldn't tell you the last time I played through like the whole thing. So yeah. Okay, Sean, I'm in the person one. I did get it. Thank you so much. I'll make sure Nikki and the kids get a piece of love here. Yeah, thank you, my friend. Thank you, Sean. That's very generous. And I can absolutely make sure to do that. Thank you, my friend. Once again, poggers for Sean in the chat. Sean made a very generous contribution through the private PayPal tipping system. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Sean. Truly. But yeah, anyway, this thing is crazy. All of that to say, this is crazy. I do know there are some people that have spent stupid amounts of money in Star Citizen. Like there was that old guy, Gus, I think it was with Rooster Teeth. Yeah, this guy. I remember seeing a video back when they were doing The No. Do you remember The No? That's a throwback, dude. That's like 2015. No, The No Gaming News. Yeah, it was then rebranded to Insider Gaming. Yeah, The No. You guys remember this?
Welcome to The No. I'm Mika.
And I'm Cole.
Call of Duty is back on top these days with its new of the games.
Dude, I used to watch everything these guys would put up. Like everything. I loved it. These guys were at the cream of the crop of content. I don't know what they're doing now. What are they doing? Oh man, that's too bad. They've kind of fallen off. Oh, that's too bad. Because back in the day, man, they were fire. I watched everything they put up. But anyway, Gus, this guy, I remember on an episode of The No I was watching, they were covering a Star Citizen story, and he casually, like, well, he didn't bring it up. Somebody else brought up, and Gus, haven't you spent like over $1,000 in Star Citizen so far? And he's like, yes, I'm really happy because I can fly my own spaceship and it's really cool. And everybody in the room kind of made fun of him. And so like people wonder who's spending all this money in Star Citizen. It's people like Gus. It's people who, I don't know if he's yeah, he's married. Does he have kids? Like I'm trying to think of what their dog died. He's an ordained minister of the Universal Life Church. He's asocial. Doesn't look like he has kids, I don't think. But basically, I'm like, it's people like this who have a lot of expendable income. You know, they're not saving up for anybody's college tuition. And so like they have a lot more expendable income and they probably make decent money and they're just looking for things that make them happy to spend their money on. And in this case, he was really into Star Citizen, so he spent the money there. Even though for us, it seems absolutely outrageous, but like, can you imagine? Dude, okay, Nandish, okay. That's mean, but also that's really funny. Nandish just said in YouTube chat, he seems like the kind of guy to take his wife on a Star Citizen vacation. Oh my God. What makes that funny is that it's kind of true. Like he does give off that vibe, but I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe that's exactly, maybe she's also spending money on it. Who knows? Maybe she has her own fleet of ships and is doing great. Who knows? But yeah, there's people like this that are spending a lot of money on these games, even though they haven't released yet. These are the whales that keep these things going. You know, a lot of content creators, a lot of people that you might not know about or that you might not realize are like, we tried to find this one. but let me check it before I pull it up. But like a lot of these guys have spent ridiculous amounts of money on these games. And somebody photoshopped DSP next to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, that's kind of funny. But like DSP has spent, there's good evidence he spent well over $100,000 on a singular wrestling mobile game, WWE Champions. Like, there's really good evidence that people have collected through Kiwi Farms and stuff to show they found his account, they tied it to his phone number, they tied it to a Discord account that's tied to him and his phone number. There's all sorts of stuff tying him to this. And so like a lot of content creators, I wouldn't be surprised if they're some of these big whales. They make really good money. A lot of them don't have a lot of other financial obligations, and they just burn through their money in these strange ways. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy that people could do this. But yeah, by the way, DSP, apparently he is officially the subject of the next Mike Klum documentary. And if you don't know Mike Klum, he where is it? Where's the actual Mike Klum? We've pulled up all this stuff on stream before, but yeah, he's the one that did this viral boogie doc that was all over the place 2 months ago. And apparently DSP is the next subject. And it's really funny because he's gone on to like different streams and podcasts and stuff. People have asked him about this DSP documentary, and he like is hyping it up, saying stuff like, oh, DSP, he's got that Howard Stern thing. He's got an amazing voice and presenter's voice. He's going to be, you know, there's a reason he's so popular and famous, and he's such a hard worker. And he goes through all of this stuff. And if you know anything about DSP, you're like, we talking about the same guy? But it's because he has to hype him up so that DSP lets him do the documentary on him. Like, he has to keep him happy and like chill until he can film everything, and then he can make the documentary however he wants once he has the footage, because DSP is very private. Like, he does not share footage of his house. He hasn't shown his wife in like 2 or 3 years. So I think it's probably a pretty big blunder on DSP's part, personally. Doesn't seem to be the smartest decision to let this happen, but that's at least my opinion. We'll see. It's going to be freaking hilarious, though. Yeah, DSP has a wife that has not been seen officially in like 2 years. 2-3 years. It actually made a lot of people think that she might have left and that he's all alone and he's just pretending to be married, because he did that with one of his ex-girlfriends where he pretended to still be married after like years, or not years, after weeks and weeks and weeks of her having left him. I don't think that's what's happened here. I think they're still together, but yeah, he's very, very secretive. He tied her to the radiator. It's like the Scientology thing where everybody's like, hey, Miscavige, where is your wife Shelly? Like, nobody has seen her. In the case of Scientology, I don't think anybody's seen her since like 2005. When was the last sighting of Shelly Miscavige? 2007. Oh my God, why is it doing this? It did it again. It's flagging like Google searches as copyright protected. Why does it keep doing that? That's so weird. I don't know, man. I'll have to check it out. She's in the mothership. Yeah, I don't know. Did he kill her? Nobody knows. Like, seriously, like, nobody knows. They, the LAPD went and tried to find her because she was reported missing by Leah Remini, who's the former actress on like King of Queens, if you remember her. And so she reported, because she was a Scientologist, and as she was leaving the church, she reported her missing because nobody had seen her at that point in 6 years. Like 6 years. I would hope that if nobody had seen me in 6 years, people would start asking Nikki where I was. You know, like, but with Scientology, it's all just like, no, don't ask questions. Like, it's so crazy. But yeah, it's just, she went missing. The LAPD claimed that they talked to her, but the LAPD also has received tons of donations and stuff from, or they've done like fundraisers and things through the Church of Scientology. There's a lot of Scientologists within the LAPD, so people think that it might have been kind of fudged a little bit. But she has not been publicly seen in 16 going on 17 years. What? Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. Imagine if like Trump's wife, Melania, right? Melania. Imagine if she had just not been seen in 17 years. Like, everybody be like, red flag, red flag, red flag. People would be very weirded out. But with Scientology, everybody's like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, why are we not more upset about this? This seems like a big deal. Like, come on. I'm not saying everybody has to be public facing all the time, but is it not really weird to just be missing for 2 decades, basically? Like, is that not really concerning? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I don't know, man. Oh, yeah, we did a whole segment way back when on Scientology. I guess we could do another one because it is, I've gone down the Scientology rabbit hole and I'm down to go down it again because it's crazy. And that was, Jacob, if you're in here, can you check real quick in our catalog when the last Scientology thing we did was? I think it was before we even changed over the like thumbnail design. I think it was a while ago. It was like a full year plus ago. Maybe it was last summer. I don't know, but I'm down to go down that rabbit hole because there's a lot that you guys might not know about. Yeah, and then I don't come back for stream on Monday because, sorry guys, Scientology, I just wanted to correct the record. Scientology is stunning, brave, and wonderful, and it is incredibly revealing, and it helps you grow. It was in April of last year. I think we could do that, then do Dragon's Dogma, because the whole thing, this is a little insider scoop, and then I'll catch up on super chats and stuff real quick. The little insider scoop for everybody. The key to YouTube success right now are longer videos that people watch all the way through. That's the key. So these segments we do on Luke Stevens Live that go into the nitty gritty of stuff like Scientology or like game deep dives and stuff, they do really well because people click on them, they watch them, and they watch the whole thing, and YouTube loves that. They love it. So I think we can do that. There's a mission in Fallout 2 to steal a shuttle from Scientology likes. Oh, really? I bought all those guys, or all of the original Fallout games. I just haven't played them. Like, I've booted them up a little bit, but I haven't like gone through the whole things. I've wanted to, but yeah, it's just, they're big games, aren't they? The original Fallout games. I think they're massive. Hold on, let me get caught up on these real quick. Ari, thank you for subbing with Prime as well. Appreciate you. And like I said, Logan for the 5 months. That's tremendous. Thank you, my friend. Brandon Reyes, thank you for the $4.99. What's your thoughts on Crimson Desert? If the trailers aren't too good to be true, I could see it being huge. Also, do you recommend the Yakuza series? For one, I totally agree. Crimson Desert looks really, really good. If anything, it looks too good to be true, like you mentioned. So it's going to be interesting. Like, they have to live up to that hype. It's the same thing that happened with Star Wars Outlaws. If they can live up to that hype, the game will be super successful. However, if any part of it is like kind of fudged or the wheels are a little clunky and greased, it's not gonna it's not going to go well. So they have to live up to that hype and to those expectations. And if they can do that, the game's going to be super, super successful. As for everything else, with it, I'm cautiously optimistic. It's from a team that's known, I think they did Black Desert Online, right? I think that's them. So, or Black Diamond or something like that. Excuse me, I just inhaled my own throat. So, that's going to be really, really interesting. I just don't, like, they're not a known quantity. We don't really know their work very well. So, we are just cautiously optimistic. What they showed off in that trailer was very, very impressive. But often when things are too good to be true, it ends up being too good to be true. Usually. As for everything else, Yakuza series, the Yakuza series is great, but there's a lot there. So just before people jump into it, just understand that's probably all you're playing for like a month. There is a lot of content in Yakuza games. It's awesome, and they're quirky, crazy, wild GTA-like games, but they are huge, and you just need to be ready for that. Let's see. The day before looked great in the first trailer too. Yeah, then everybody realized it was fake. Yeah. But yeah, again, thank you, Brandon, for the $4.99. Let's see. I read that one. I got that one. Read that one. Okay, we're caught up there. Took on the Jeffrey Epstein documents being unsealed. As far as I'm aware, there hasn't been anything surprising in them. Except the one thing I hadn't heard before was that Michael Jackson was apparently named in the documents and was a friend of Jeffrey's, which in light of everything we found out is probably true about Michael Jackson recently. / not that recently. It makes sense why Michael Jackson might be friends with him. As for Stephen Hawking being named, yeah, that was very surprising. That was very surprising. Am I in the doc? Maybe. You got to do that Control F and find it. I don't know. But with all of it, like, just because you're in the docs does not mean that you are necessarily guilty of any crimes, which is why charges have not been brought against all of these other people that have been named. It certainly doesn't look good. You know, it's like being best friends with Hitler. You don't want to be on that list, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are complicit in everything that they were doing, right? So the takeaway from the list, like, yeah, it makes Bill Clinton look bad or worse, stuff like that, but there's nothing really that useful in the names. Like, they've had this list of names, I think, since 2017. So, like, if they were going to do something with the names, they would have already done it. So, if Oprah is named, I'm already knowing she did something horrendous in the past. Wasn't Oprah also friends with, like, Harvey Weinstein? So is Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep called Harvey Weinstein God in one of her acceptance speeches for an award because he got her a bunch of roles and stuff. So the whole thing is just, it'll make you feel sick. I'll tell you what. Make you feel sick. A lot of names mentioned were just people he claimed to be he talked to when speaking to masseuses. Yeah. I don't know. Hollywood is a dirty place. I'll tell you what. It's a dirty, dirty place that you should probably run away from. You should probably steer clear of. Okay. Excuse me. Man. Pretty all right. Thank you also for 7 months of support. Happy New Year, man. So is the government paying you to not talk about Miami aliens? What are the Miami aliens? What are Miami aliens? Aliens at Miami Mall? I'm so confused. Okay, so there's a clip of aliens. Are you telling me this is the aliens? I think we might be stretching. So like, where's the video? Is this the video? Promotes Red Pill Cinema. Claim the footage showing 10-foot alien creatures caught on camera.
Esta es una llamada a todas las unidades de la ciudad de Miami.
10-foot aliens. So the blurry distortion was over here. So are we saying the aliens are over there? Where all the people are?
En Bayside ahora.
I'm thoroughly confused. Okay, he zooms in. I don't know what he's looking for. And all these people start crossing away. I'm looking for 10-foot aliens. I'm looking for 10-foot aliens somewhere. That is a lot of police. Jesus. Golly. When I got swatted, it wasn't quite this bad. Wasn't quite that bad. They also didn't have any of their lights on. They didn't want to alert me that they were coming to arrest me, I guess. So they all were like parked around the block and they all came up on foot, hiding behind cars and stuff. So it was much less dramatic than you'd imagine. I don't see any aliens. Am I just like totally missing it? I don't see anything even slightly resembling aliens. They're saying TMZ. Okay, when TMZ reports on it, you know, that's great. Are you kidding me? Is that what they're saying it is? Guys. Guys. For one, what do you think is happening that like... It's just people that see there were a lot of police in an area. So they're like, oh, the police must have been there for the aliens. And then the aliens walk. And that's why none of the police are telling about it. And then this really grainy video is proof of it. It also betrays a total lack of understanding of how video compression works. That people would think that that's a 10-foot tall monster. Looks to me like somebody walking in a hoodie. And then the compression on the video is doing the rest of the work. I don't know, man. It's just that's painful. That's tough to look at. That's really tough to look at. Broke filmed that on an iPhone 4S. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. Mathematically, in the universe, there are aliens. Like, there have to be. It's a necessary thing. Are they intelligent aliens that like walk around and look like humans? Probably not. And also, are they here on Earth right now? Probably not, because space is huge. And beyond that, why on earth would they be walking through a little area with tons of police presence? And also, how would nobody else mention it except for one stupid blurry video? Like, what? It just doesn't make any sense. Oh, man. What did that person do? I don't know. Did they? I already forgot what it was saying. News. Okay. It was at a shopping mall. It resulted in the arrest of 4 teenagers. More than 60 police cars swarmed the Bayside Marketplace to shut down a fight involving a group of teenagers who were also throwing fireworks at each other in the open air shopping mall. And then after that, they caused a riot in the mall, which started a panic because the teenagers were fighting each other, throwing firecrackers and fireworks at each other, which when they explode sound like gunfire. So people thought that there was a mass shooting going on. So they started to riot and stampede out of the shopping mall, which is, you know, the police were probably getting calls saying there's a shooting at the mall. So they responded like it, even though it was just teenagers throwing fireworks at each other. Yeah. So it's more likely that that happened, or that aliens or that aliens walk among us. What's more likely? Oh, Rango, it's Rockstar marketing for GTA 6. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Man, it's just... Oh, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. That's hilarious. Wow. That's funny. My parents are geologists, and they had a guy come in their office and claim he had rocks from alien planets, that he got them from an alien spaceship crash. Did they take the rocks, or was he like trying to sell them? It's like, you guys can have them to analyze, but I need $1,000. I'm sorry, I need $1,000. Yeah, only the one video from the 30th floor. It also, there's been a track of, let me see if I can find it. No, it was Bigfoot sightings. So I don't know if this is the same thing. Basically, yeah, I'm not finding the chart, but basically the chart of Bigfoot findings or Bigfoot sightings has just been like this for the last like 5 decades or something. Like, it was kind of going up for a while through the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, and then smartphones hit, and all of a sudden sightings started to drop. And it was weird because you'd think with cell phones you would be able to see stuff and photograph it and capture the footage even more easily. But the opposite has happened. And it's because now with cell phones, like I have 5x on my iPhone, 10x optical zoom on the S22. And so like if I see something in the distance and I want to see what it is, I can just pull up my phone and zoom in on it and be like, oh, it's a bear. Oh, it's a bear. Oh, it's a moose. Oh, that's cool. Or like I told you guys a while ago when I was in Arizona last year, we were just chilling in the pool and I saw a floating white Tic Tac looking thing that looked very similar to what we saw with the UFO stuff that's been coming out and leaking everywhere. Let me see if I can actually find this again. It was maybe, let's see, not Wyoming, April, May, June. Because I actually took pictures of it on this, and it was one of those things I would have thought that I had seen a UFO and I was looking at like an alien thing if I didn't have my phone to just zoom in on it and realize that it was actually just a what appeared to be a weather balloon. I showed this on stream once. I know I have the pictures, but I don't know where they are. Let's see, that's from that wedding. Lachlan's birthday party. Oh, here it is. So it was just like a white dot that I could see. I'm gonna hold it up to the camera like a boomer, okay? So it's just like a white dot. You see that little white dot in the dead center of the screen? Little tiny thing. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, that looks like a white Tic Tac. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then I zoomed in with this phone. It allowed you to zoom in so close that I could do like 10x all the way to like 100x with the digital zoom. And thank God it was broad daylight, so there's plenty of light. And then when you zoom in all the way, you can see that. And it looks like a bunch of balloons, like white balloons, probably, or a weather balloon, that were floating way high up in the sky that were kind of separating a little bit. I would not have known that if I couldn't zoom in 100x on this phone, but I actively debunked it with that. Whereas if I didn't want to do that, I could just impulsively be like, yeah, I saw a UFO, guys, this weekend. You know, the stuck pixel, it was moving. Don't worry. Can you imagine? I'm just like, wow, look at that. So, yeah, it was just, it was cool. But this is why, like, these sightings have dropped off, just because people have kind of been able to self-debunk all of these things. And then there was like this chart of Bigfoot sightings. And to be clear, when I was like little, I thought that Bigfoot and all of this stuff was like totally real. All of it. I bought into all of it. I love the idea of Bigfoot being real. But inevitably over time, it has just appeared to me that it's all kind of insane, and none of it really makes sense when you start to push and prod, you know. Just doesn't really work out. It's like, would it be cool? Yeah, I'd love it if it were true. And tomorrow, if they announce that actually Bigfoot has been found, we found a body and it's real, I would be the first one to get super giddy. I would drive overnight to go and see the exhibit on it. I would do that. I would love it. Do I think that will ever happen? No. Same with like the Loch Ness Monster. No, I don't think so. The fact that the very first Bigfoot footprints ever found back in like the 50s and 60s, that the sons of the man that did it, that found it, came out and admitted it was a hoax. We're like, yeah, it was fake. Sorry. That to me is really hard to get around. It's really tough to get around that for me. That's a big problem. Ryan, thank you for the 10. Hey, Luke, just wanted to come in and say you're great. Content's great. And from one gaming dad to another, you seem like a really good dad. You rock. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. We try, right? We try. You got to get games in when you can. And I don't know how old yours are, but I'm looking forward to being able to share the gaming hobby with them. Being able to like play games I played as a kid. Like one thing I'm really excited about is to be able to play like Lego Star Wars, the original ones with Lachlan and Orion, because those are the ones I played when I was like 10 or however old I was. And the idea of being able to play those with my boys now is just super cool to me. So I'm looking forward to that, being able to share that with them. But thank you for the 10. Thank you. Do I have the Lego Bigfoot? No, I don't. Is there a Lego Bigfoot? God, I already have 2 big sets. I can't spend more time. Bigfoot Lego. Okay, he's pretty cute. He's pretty cute. This is just a mini. So it's just the miniature. I was imagining like a big set that you'd have to build, but this really is not that daunting. Take all of 10 seconds. That's pretty cool. It would hurt to spend $20 on something this big that, you know, takes 5 seconds to build, but that's cool. It's a mini foot. Yeah. 2 boys, both under 5. I can't wait for couch co-op. Oh yeah, man. Oh, that's great. Yeah, mine are both still under 3. Lachlan is 2.5. Ori is half. And yeah, it's already just so much fun. So much fun. Littlefoot. Let's see. We're going to try to hunt the rest of the myth monsters if one is true. Yeah, it's the same thing with like the Loch Ness Monster. Everybody was like, oh, the Loch Ness Monster is totally real. And then like right as cameras become widespread and mainstream and everybody gets access to them, people stop finding the Loch Ness Monster. And now like the most hardcore Loch Ness Monster hunters are all like, yeah, we believe she died in like the 1980s or 90s. We believe she died right as video and photos became widespread. So that's awful convenient. Awful convenient. Other people are like, no, Nessie was never actually that big of a monster. She was always like a big sturgeon or an eel or something like that. That was just misidentified. Who knows? Who knows? I will say, like, there are crazy creatures in the ocean that, like, what is, oh God, what were those? Does anybody in chat know? What are those massive, oh, I know, oarfish. Like oarfish, no part of them looks like they should be real. These things are stupid. In the words of Lil Wayne, stupid, dummy thick. Like, look at those monstrosities. Is that not crazy? It's ridiculous. Their eyes are the size of like dinner plates. They're like super shiny. They normally live like thousands of feet under the ocean. It's crazy. It's crazy. So like if you saw that thing and you're in a pirate ship or like, you know, an old timey ship and you're sailing along and you see that in the water for a brief second, I can understand why people might be like, oh, it's a sea serpent. Oh my God, it's a gigantic sea serpent. Because it's tech. I mean, it looks like a giant sea serpent, to be fair. Like, it looks really scary. So I can understand it. I can understand it. But now that we have more information, it's like we can identify most of this stuff. We can figure out that it's maybe not the Hollywood explanation. It might just be another explanation that's still fascinating. Oarfish are crazy cool, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a gigantic space snake, you know? Yeah, you know, it's crazy. We know more about space, what's in space, than our own oceans. What if there are oceans in space that we don't know about? That's the thing with, is it Enceladus? Is that the name of it? Enceladus? The moon of Saturn? It has an ocean underneath it. It's basically just one gigantic ocean. It has like a bunch of craters on it, but they've seen water spouts and geysers coming out of it. And it has, you know, an ocean and then a core underneath it. But there's a lot of scientists that think that there might be actual life underneath the ice layers. So, I mean, you might get underneath Enceladus's crust and see it teeming with alien life, living in those oceans. That's not out of the realm of possibility. But to get to it, we have to get through the crust of Enceladus, which is easier said than done, let's just say. Easier said than done. But Enceladus is a place where there very well likely could be just a lot of life under the surface that's just hidden. Nuke it? Honestly, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I did see that. I think Elon threw it out as a possibility. He's not the first one to say it, but people were saying, oh, well, to terraform Mars, you just have to nuke the crap out of it. It'll introduce a ton of heat, and that heat will allow it to start to kind of build up an atmosphere again, because it'll cause the ice cap to melt or something and evaporate, and that will create an atmosphere again. But it still would take something insane like 30,000 years or something of constant nukes going off to do it. Like, it's a little easier said than done, let's just say that. Oppenheimer and Mars, yeah. Except like once an hour forever. Yeah. Thank God they're in the ocean. Dude, I find the ocean fascinating and beautiful. And I think the thing I love about the ocean the most is that it is a place where man's like their chutzpah, man's arrogance is of almost no consequence. Like, we can spend billions building these massive ships, building these massive submarines, whatever else. And in certain parts of the ocean, if you go there, you still just might be screwed. A rogue wave could take you out, just like nothing. No biggie. Just cuz. And I find that beautiful in a way, because with all of our crazy advances, it puts us in our place, and it kind of humbles us to remind us that maybe, you know what? We're not like the kings of the universe. Maybe we need to have a little more respect. You know? Yeah, we may think we're all that in a bag of chips, but at the end of the day, you are a broken Bluetooth PlayStation controller away from the ocean reclaiming you. Exactly. Like, what was that? It was a big... Yeah, it was a big freighter. You guys ever seen this video? It's of a freighter in the ocean. And basically, like, just to explain how this works, like, if you imagine the waves of the ocean, just like this, your goal as a ship is to have the hull mostly in the water, and then, you know, you're buoyant, you're fine. The problem comes when this changes, and instead of most of the hull being in the water, keeping you buoyant, if the wave crests and does one of these, and you happen to be lined up so that your hull is like this, there's all of this weight that's just being pressed straight down, and no water to cushion it or to keep it afloat. So then this snaps and the thing breaks in two. Guess what's going to happen here? It's not supposed to bend like that. It's not supposed to bend like that. That's not what it's supposed to do. Oh, I didn't know our boat came apart. That's cool. It doesn't. Call for help. Like, oh no. And you can hear immediately they start calling Mayday, because it's not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's the Galaxy Fold Boat Edition. Yeah, from that point, both pieces are probably going to separate. It's going to probably tear in half. You might be able to get rescued quickly enough that maybe they can tow it back and intentionally ground it. But you're in serious trouble at that point. Luckily, there's other ships around, so it doesn't look like it looks like the crew is probably going to be okay. There's another ship over here as well, the far right. But, yeah, earlier 3 sailors died. Wow. I wonder if they were down below or something. 3 sailors died when the Ukrainian-owned Arvin sank in heavy seas on January 16th after the wave snapped its keel near the bow. Turkish Maritime Authority released a video which also recorded crew members making a mayday call for help. The search operation rescued other members of the mainly Ukrainian crew. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. And then this one, yeah, this one just straight up snapped in half, with both halves still afloat. Look at that. Jesus. That's crazy.
Reuters reports that it was anchored several miles from the port when the accident happened. There were no reported.
That's crazy. Wow. So yeah, just a reminder, the ocean will always win. The ocean will always win. Are you a fan of South Park? Oh yeah, I love South Park. Ugh. This is why water scares me. I think water scares me as well, but I think it has given me a respect for it. And so, like, for me, it's like getting the chance to go and meet, like, out of just somebody that I really respect, going on the ship. It just goes out, you go out there, and it's like, I understand I'm not in control here, but I can still appreciate it. It almost makes me appreciate it way more that I'm able to do this at all, But anyways. How long before we see a game on the Ukrainian conflict? Oh, Russell, it's going to be a while. I don't think anybody's going near that thing. Nobody wants to juggle that. Like, we're just now getting games that cover like Desert Storm, but we're, as far as I know, like, we're not really doing any games that go through like the invasion into Afghanistan or anything. Maybe there have been and I'm just not thinking of them, but largely I think we try to steer clear. Is it the next COD campaign? I thought that they were doing something set maybe I'm just getting my Call of Duty games mixed up. It's the next. Okay, I'm kidding. I was like, really? I was like, I don't recall that. Oh yeah, I guess 6 Days in Fallujah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, as for like mainstream, like Call of Duty doing it, I'm not sure. Next COD game is rumored to be Gulf War. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I think that makes sense. Gulf War. Okay, Gulf War. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Ooh. I guess to circle back to gaming real quick. Sorry, because I've gotten a little distracted today. New segment. The next Xbox Developer Direct is coming later this month. A new post by Reddit user Xantorn, who has been accurate in revealing showcase events in the past, claims that the next Xbox Direct will happen during the week of January 14th. Quote, first Xbox event of the year is going to be the week of the 14th. I can't speak on the Shadow Drop rumors, but the date has now been set in stone. Should it happen that week, it will likely be sometime between the 15th and 19th, as those are the weekdays for that week. It's unlikely Microsoft would hold an event at this point during the weekend. This comes just days after it was spotted online that a developer direct could be happening on January 25th. While we can't confirm the exact date and time just yet, they also understand that an event is scheduled to take place within the next couple of weeks. Okay, we've reached out to Xbox for comment, and it has not been provided yet. But that apparently is happening. I mean, and it makes sense. As for what they drop, I mean, I would love another trailer for like Hellblade. I would love for them to give maybe firmer dates and information on Avowed. I think that could be really cool. There have been rumors that they're going to shadow drop something, kind of like they did with Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush was crazy because it really did come out of nowhere. Not only did nobody know the game existed, nobody knew that it was going to be playable like that day. And I think it actually really helped the game because a lot of people downloaded it because they were just excited. Ooh, a brand new game today and it looks kind of fun. So they downloaded it, played it, and I think that added a much wider player base to that game than it would have otherwise gotten. If they had been like, yeah, this is the game and it comes out in a week or in 6 months. I thought it was a brilliant play. And if that became the new staple, that Microsoft just shadow drops stuff like once a year or twice a year during these events, I think that'd be awesome. They don't have to be like big games. Nobody's asking for The Elder Scrolls 6 to be shadow dropped out of nowhere, but even like mid-size or indie games being shadow dropped, I think would be super, super cool. So I'm intrigued. I'm very interested. I hope that this is awesome. Fable, please. Yeah, I would love more information on Fable. I don't know when that's coming though. Fable. Let me see if anybody has any ballpark. That original trailer I thought would be, or I thought was great. A lot of places are estimating October of 24. It's also the month other Fable games have been released, so we'd expect to see the pattern continue. It would also make sense because right now they don't really have any big fall releases, so that would be kind of a layup. So that could be cool. Was the original Fable trailer really world premiere? No, this was the announcement trailer. I understand. Yeah, this was the announcement trailer that didn't really give us any information or anything, but this was the trailer from 6 months ago that was awesome. I don't know why people were so mixed on it, honestly.
Oh, we're finally doing this, are we?
I really don't know. Does anyone know why the response was negative? Why there's like a mixed reaction to this? Because I thought this trailer was awesome. Granted, I am biased. I loved IT Crowd, so I get some brownie points for me. But I thought this was a great trailer. It didn't show us anything of a lot of use, but it looked way better than I thought it would.
On a day-to-day basis, I'll say the true hero is me, someone who's breaking new ground with fruit, with veg, on the agricultural side of things.
Just look at them.
Not wafting around mythical creatures. And that's what they are. Wafters.
Yeah, well done.
You see, I'm not here to slay legendary beasts. I'm here to conquer the vegetable, not a euphemism. Let's face it, the age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation. This, if you will, is the age of death. One moment.
Like, how
This
is
is awkward.
This is great.
Yeah. Oh.
And so you're saying people were downvoting it because of a quote, ugly female character. Okay. Okay. I mean, if that's the reason people don't want to play a game because they didn't find the main character bangable enough, then okay, I guess you're going to miss out on a lot of good games. Like, it's moments like that where I'm like, guys, do you need a hug? Do you need a hug? Go get laid. Like, some people just have too much pent up, let's just say passion, and they need to expel it somehow. I will agree. Some of the faces, like, occasionally look a little off. Like, it kind of reminds me of the kind of creation engine look where sometimes their eyes are a little off. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's like that there's not enough reflection in them or something, but you know, it's just like, looking at her, I don't find her like ugly. I don't know. Am I just a boomer? Am I not hip with the kids anymore? This seems like a really stupid reason to downvote a trailer that otherwise looks great. I feel like I'm just missing something. But like, if you don't want to play the game because you don't find this, and who knows, maybe the player characters are customizable, we don't know yet, but like, it's just so freaking stupid. Yeah, there's no gameplay. Absolutely. Like, nobody's saying that you should like pre-order the game based off of this. I think the trailer does a really good job of setting a tone, and it's a really unique trailer that I think is interesting. You know, there's stuff like this that they show, and there's questions as to whether this is a cutscene or if this is actually like part of gameplay, and it's just like, because this is combat, but it's not really clear if this is something that's doable in the game. Same with like this bit where she's running away from the giant, and like there's these sequences which to me look clearly like gameplay. You know, you're running and then this thing gets slapped in front of you. Here you kick the trap towards him and he puts his hand in it and it catches him. Like, that to me looks like part of a broader sequence of running away from the giant. That's at least what it comes off as to me. So this looks like it could be gameplay, or at least part of like, you know, the quick time event within a sequence of getting away from the giant. So it's not clear like what exactly is happening or when it's transitioning from what like running in real time versus pre-rendered or whatever else. But at the very least, it looks interesting and unique. Nobody should pre-order it, of course. Nobody should be doing that, but that's just a thing. As for let's see, other stuff that they could show off, like I was saying, the Avowed stuff. Avowed would be cool to get more information about, because we've seen these gameplay drops. This is of course coming from Obsidian, the same guys that did Fallout New Vegas, the Stick of Truth, of course. They also did the Outer Worlds, and this is basically like their version of Elder Scrolls, it seems. And while it's going to be smaller in scope, it's probably going to be more AA in scale than AAA. It does seem kind of interesting. I mean, I'm not in love with the art style personally. I just don't like the mix of like really crazy colorful stuff with the kind of bland backdrops. I'd rather them commit one way or the other, but that's just me. It might come together better in the final version too. But it just, in terms of art style, I don't love it, especially like the creatures and stuff. It's just not working for me as well as I would have hoped. But otherwise, I think the game looks interesting. We'll see if combat can hold up. We'll see if branching decisions and the RPG elements are actually that good. But that's an interesting game that's going to be coming soon. And maybe we get a trailer for this or a release date for this. That would be super cool. Because Xbox has got to start pumping out the exclusives. Tell you what, they really got to get on it. Yeah, it's a kaleidoscope of different styles. Yeah, just it's like it can't seem to make up its mind if it wants to be kind of more cartoony, or if it wants to be just really bright and colorful, or if it wants to be a little more photorealistic. I also can't stand the font choice. I just really don't like this. It looks very 1990s to me. That's me. Granted, I'm not a font connoisseur, but it just isn't really working for me. But it's also interesting that most of this trailer is showing like enemies and combat and stuff, where normally that's where these games kind of struggle. So I'm interested if that's the new focus, or if this game is going to be more focused on like the narrative and RPG stuff, and that's where it's going to excel. In which case, I hope we get more trailers showcasing that, because the Outer Worlds, they did a really good job of showcasing the narrative and kind of the world building aspects ahead of time.
Look who it is. The stranger that came out of nowhere and now has everyone talking. Some people want you to be a savior, a shining beacon of hope. Those people clearly haven't met you yet.
Here we go!
So, what can I get you? Some soap? Everyone loves soap.
Remember, no matter what happens out here, it'll all be your fault. Good luck.
Not bad. Not bad, right? Not bad. So maybe this all comes together and is awesome. Kind of like, Outer Worlds had some problems, to be clear. It had some quirks. It was far from perfect, but it was at the very least kind of interesting. And I think for what Obsidian was trying to do, it did the job. But we'll see. I mean, we could get a trailer for Avowed. We could also get a trailer for this game that they also announced that didn't really get much information about it, but was just like very vague.
Hearing an old, wise-sounding voice.
You guys remember this game?
And we see a quiet, peaceful setting.
It's one of my favorite trailers, or most memorable trailers.
And important. Now, something must break the serenity. Will this creature be in the game? No. Say goodbye to it forever. Suddenly, and for no reason, people running. These pointless slow-motion shots make everything seem cool and should bolster pre-sale numbers. That wah sound can mean only one thing. We must gaze over an epic shot of a world, and there should be lens flares. Now we see our hero, but only their silhouette, because the developers haven't finished the design, or finished the story, or finished any gameplay that's actually ready to show. In fact, the only thing they have finished is the title.
Love it. Love it. One of my favorite trailers, even though it's just self-aware and it's like, yeah, don't take any real information from this. It's all kind of useless. At least they acknowledge it. And that made it very memorable for me. That made it very memorable. It's got a lot of, it's got a lot of ways to go before it's ready. I think, but that was dropped 2 years ago. That was uploaded June of 21 at the Xbox showcase. So we could potentially see that come at this this potentially new showcase that they do in the next week or two. So that could be really, really cool. I don't know. The ones I would love to see would be a trailer for Hellblade that makes me fall in love with it. I would love to know about Fable. I'd love to know about Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2. And I also would love to know about South of Midnight, which is that really, really like super well themed trailer that they dropped. Where like, I don't want to get copyright struck, but this one that was like straight Tim Burton / claymation, just a beautiful, beautiful sequence. It's just gorgeous to look at. What the game is actually like, who knows? I don't think anybody knows at this point, but I would love to see maybe an explanation of what gameplay is like or what kind of game this actually is. Because right now it's just not really clear. And as far as I'm aware, they haven't dropped anything else, right? I don't think they have. As for other games, Hellblade 2, so far, I have just found this kind of surprisingly uninformative. Like everything they've shown has just been more of what we already kind of have seen and known. Nothing's beaten that original announcement trailer. I want to see big encounters, big boss fights. I also think the game looked really photorealistic when it dropped, and now there's been a lot of other games that look really, really good. So the game's like big selling point, which is the graphical fidelity, is now a little bit less remarkable. It still looks great, but it's just not as like far ahead as it was at one time. But like looking at this trailer, I just am not clear if this is going to be truly different. Like Hellblade, the original game, was good for like the novelty of it, and it was really cinematic, really beautiful and stuff, but the combat was really brain dead and very, very repetitive. Thankfully the game was really short, so it didn't matter that much. And the puzzles were interesting, but they also kind of got old, and largely the game was just a lot of walking. And most of what they're showing here seems to suggest that it's more of the same. It looks like it's the same kind of slap, slap, parry, slap, slap, dodge, slap, slap, parry kind of combat. A lot of walking. It's beautiful, but I just don't know if that's enough to carry it. And it's been a while. It's been like 5-6 years since the last game. So I'm hoping it lives up to the hype and expectations, because expectations are certainly high, but yeah, nothing they've really shown has outdone that original trailer. Personally, I just don't think it has. That original trailer was so epic with a giant that washes up on the shore and then chases you down. I thought that was so epic and so cool. And I just want to see other big set pieces like that to sell me on the game even more. But so far, we just get a bunch of these like really tight camera angles of kind of lame combat and then a lot of walking. And not a whole lot else. And I want else. I want other stuff too, you know? Because that original trailer, man. That original trailer. Hellblade announcement trailer. No, not reaction. Announcement trailer. In engine. So they didn't even say this was running in. No, this is that. I want the original trailer gameplay reveal. Yeah, this with the big beast monster thing crawling in. This was crazy cool. When I first saw this, I think we were watching the event live, I think. I just remember being like, oh my God, that's awesome. But we haven't seen anything else quite like this yet. And it just worries me that like this is the opening of the game and it's the best part of the game, and the rest is just a lot of like really, really stilted running sequences and stuff. But man, this was so cool. You know? This was so cool. And then he starts to chase you down after you attack him. Poor guy. Why not just let him die? Like, come on. Is that not epic? Is that not freaking awesome? Oh, and then he yells at you.
Take me!
Run! He don't care about nothing.
It's me it wants to kill.
He's already on fire. You think the fire's gonna stop him? Should probably just run away. Oh, he just ate his head off.
He's seen you. She's I know you. He needs you.
Like, come on. That's awesome. That's an awesome trailer. And I just feel like nothing else has happened. Like, just nothing else has happened after that. It's just more of the same. So I'm hoping we hear about some of that stuff. Realistically, they probably drop some indie games, announce what's coming to Game Pass next. Maybe we get a shadow drop of some indie game or something, you know, kind of like a Pentiment or something like that. A smaller side project they've been working on that they shadow drop out of nowhere. We probably don't see the big reveals until the summer, but still. Maybe they don't want to give too much away. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I mean, it's the balancing act with every trailer ever, right? Like, you want to show enough to get people convinced that your game is good and worth checking out, but you don't want to show so much that people like get the game spoiled for them. And that's been like one of those things with some recent games that are coming up where they openly say, this is a story spoiler, so buckle up. And then they just show a story spoiler, like a pretty big one, in the trailer or in the insider video for it, because they're trying really hard to convince you that the game is worth playing and worth checking out. And it's just a difficult balancing act for everybody. Certainly not just them. So it's an age-old struggle for sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. Let's see. I guess, Jacob, you can end that segment there. Just the Xbox showcase expectations, blah, blah, blah. Go through all of that. Let me see. Okay. So one of the games, here we go. One of the games that was announced a while ago, like 2 years ago, at this point, over 2 years ago, that has not really seen much more come from it since then, is the upcoming Star Wars game, Star Wars Eclipse. And they revealed this back, let's see if do they say where it was dropped? I don't know. But this was the cinematic reveal trailer. And it looked pretty good. I mean, it seemed really interesting. It had overwhelmingly positive responses to it. 21 million views. I mean, that should tell you people are pretty interested in this. Excuse me. So people are interested. The world building seems interesting. Granted, it's a cinematic trailer, so there's not much to take from this. But it aims to set the tone and give you a feeling of the story. Maybe show you some characters that will end up being in the game. But I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff that they showcase here. Now, people are interested, people are compelled, but it's important to understand what this is. This is the upcoming game from Quantic Dream. Do you guys remember Quantic Dream? Remember those guys? Well, I do. So Quantic Dream, these guys are headed up by an individual by the name of David Cage. And Quantic Dream is the same studio that did Detroit Become Human, as you might see there. They've also done, I mean, they kind of specialize in these branching storylines. They are doing, I guess, Dustborn, which is another game, which I'm sure is, I kind of totally forgot they were doing this. Maybe it's going to be great. I don't know. Steam. Ragtag Crew, check. Musical Gear, check. Tour bus and Robot Driver, check. Stolen Package, check. Okay. Embark on a perilous trip across the divided states of America. Use the power of words to shape relationships with your crew to get out of trouble and reach your final destination. I'm just going to leave that there. You know, I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, it's being developed by Red Thread Games. It's being published by Quantic Dream, so it's not technically them. But okay, that makes me feel a little better because I was like, what are they doing? Okay. Anyway, so they're doing that, but these are the guys that have done a lot of work in sort of the branching narrative space. That's what they specialize in. So it's kind of choose your own adventure. You play through the story, you got your characters, and depending on what you do, you could have the story go this way. This character could die off. This character could have a secret ending hidden based on certain behaviors. And there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with them. I'm still blown away by the amazing work they did in Detroit Become Human. I still think that game is very underrated. Is it free of cringe? No. My favorite thing to point to is with what would it be called? With Detroit, I guess just singing. Yeah, there's a sequence where like the robots are being held and like are about to be killed or shot and stuff, and they just start singing.
Fight on just a little while longer. Pray on just a little while longer.
Incredible. The deviance.
So it can be a little cringe. Granted, this is one ending out of like 200 or 300 or 400, however many there are. This is like one very specific thing that I'm cherry picking that is particularly funny and cringy. There's also a couple of other things, like all of the robots are being collected to be sent off for decommissioning, which, I mean, in the context of androids, yeah, they're going to shut them down, wipe their software and reset them because they're all starting to rebel and they're forgetting their place. Tell you what. And then they try to do it like clearly symbolizing and drawing parallels to the Holocaust. So they bring all of these robots together and are sending them into these like decommissioned chambers to be decommissioned together, and they like strip their clothes off and stuff. And it's like, guys, I get what you're doing. It's a little heavy-handed. I don't think you had to be that heavy-handed with it. The message still gets across, you know? So there's some times where I feel like they're a little too heavy-handed. There's other times like this where it's like, I think this was supposed to be beautiful. It just comes off as kind of cringy, a bunch of robots singing, and then the humans being like, you're right, we should all be friends now. You know, it's just kind of weird. And then there's other limitations, like technologically, they're not able to actually have a lot of characters on screen. And so this is like the big like precipice of the conflict. This is where all of it's been building to, and it's like 15 little robots and then maybe another like 10 people surrounding them with guns, then a guy in a helicopter. And this is like the big foundational moment that shifts all of human civilization after this. Because after this, the president...
The evacuation of the city is underway at this very moment. In the coming hours, I will address the Senate to determine our response
to this unprecedented thing.
The United States of America desire to take Detroit back. We will fight them with all our strength, and we will not rest until we have destroyed them all.
Wow, bigot. So there's some weird things. She doesn't even sound like she's from the US. Apparently this is a thing, Fornsa, was that she was, I think, a French actress, I think is what, she wasn't American. She spoke a different language primarily, but she was cast in the role, and then she is doing an American accent, and it doesn't sound quite right if you are American or if you're familiar with American accents. So it's just a little off, and it makes it sound weird. So there were all sorts of like fan theories that the president was actually an android herself. And so none of that's the case. She is a human, but it is funny to think just because her voice is a little bit off, just with the dialect or whatever. It's unrelated though. However, it's a very, very good game. It's easy to point at like 2 or 3 really cringy, clunky things and be like, therefore, the game is super bad. No, the whole game is wildly impressive. It is crazy, crazy impressive and very, very good. this is one thing we're cherry picking because, yeah, we're using it as an example of David Cage being a little cringy at times. Now, David Cage is the guy that runs this company. He runs the studio. And he's an interesting character. I'll tell you what. So this is him. David de Grottola, also known as David Cage. He's a French video game designer, writer, and musician. And he founded Quantic Dream. And he is the one that like primarily heads up a lot of the writing on this stuff. And again, I think generally he does a good job. However, there's some controversies. You can Google a lot of it, but a little while back, there were some allegations against him, including misogyny and homophobia at Quantic Dream. Off the top of my head, the only accusation I can remember is someone saying that he said, quote, "I don't make games for FAGSs," end quote. So that's the gist of it. He claims the accusations are false, so there's a lot of controversy there. My stance is usually if there's evidence to suggest that these claims are valid, then we can take them and deal with them. I've tried digging into this stuff, and as far as I can tell, none of the allegations have ever been confirmed or supported by any evidence. So it seems like people just saying stuff. And at that point, I'm not willing to cancel somebody because somebody said something. You know, I think that that's just not fair to anybody. If there's evidence that he actually says this, if there's emails and stuff, then we can deal with it. But as of right now, as far as I'm aware, it's only people saying that this guy said something. And that's a very bad reason to like cancel people. You know, this guy said that he might have said this. It's like, I think we need a little bit more than that. However, what is the case is that, yeah, he's probably pretty full of himself. He's a little cocky, and occasionally he writes kind of heavy-handedly, and it can be a little clunky. However, I still think Detroit Become Human is broadly really, really good. Really, really good. Anyway, but these are the guys that are heading up the development of Star Wars Eclipse, okay? We're coming full circle. So Star Wars Eclipse is this game with this trailer that people were really stoked on. It looked really, really good. And the cinematic trailer, I'll give it to him. This looks epic. Super cool. Will any of this be in the game? Probably not. You remember the last sequence I showed you where they're all standing around, all these robots singing, and they could only have a few people? It's Voldemort. They could only have a few people on screen at a time. Well, that's an engine restriction. They just physically can't stream in very much data at any given time, so they're kind of limited in what they can showcase and what they can do in terms of scale. As a result, this scene is not possible. And they also don't make the kind of games where you're flying a spaceship around and doing dogfights and stuff. That's not the kind of game this would be. There might be a cutscene where you see this happen, but they don't make those kinds of games. They make the games where you make the decisions with the characters to decide if you do have a dogfight in space or if you don't, but that's about it. Like they're not going to go beyond that. So just, we need to get expectations leveled. That being said, there's allegedly been a lot of developmental issues behind the scenes. So this was originally released or announced back in 2021. Detroit came out in May of 2018. So after 3 years, they announced it. It's been going on 6 years since the release of their last major game. And apparently they are still a ways off. So there's rumors and people with insider knowledge saying that this Star Wars game is still probably 4+ years out. It's a ways off. They claim that it's an action adventure game. It features multiple lead characters and a branching narrative similar to Detroit Become Human. You explore a story that takes place in the High Republic era of Star Wars timeline. First announced back in 2021, it was said to be in early development at that time, and there's been some delays and some struggles. Let's see. They show some other stuff. They described it as early in development at the Game Awards. Reports emerged towards the end of 21 that suggesting that Star Wars Eclipse is apparently at least 3 to 4 years away from launch. Quantic Dream went on to respond to the reports to reaffirm that there have been no delays since no launch date has been confirmed. that's a little coy. If it's like, hey, apparently they're having development issues and they keep having to delay it internally, and be like, we haven't delayed it because we never said when it was coming out. It's like, no, we said internal delays. We said that like you were thinking in the team, hey, we're going to release this in 22 in December of 23 or whatever it would have been. And then for you to be like, no, actually we're not delaying it at all because we never said when it was released. It's like, okay, if we're going to just nitpick and be like super precise, I guess we can do that. But beyond that, nothing officially has really been said. However, there have been leaks and rumors and stuff about the development process suggesting that they've had to do major reworks of their engine and a ton of coding work and stuff because their engine just simply was not able to keep up with the bigger scale of this game that they're aiming for. They want to do something really epic. They want to have these big city scenes where there's tons of NPCs and stuff, and that just frankly is not doable given the engine that was running based off of the PS4 version. They need a little bit more. So they've been doing a lot of working with their proprietary engine to get that working. Beyond that, when they discuss the story, it's promising to be a new type of Quantic Dream game. The studio known for games like Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain. It will route their gameplay through branching narrative paths and limited input. However, Star Wars Eclipse is said to be a more traditional action experience without skimming on the choice and consequence. So it could be a game that's trying to go more action adventure, but still bring the branching narrative. That could be super cool. Just like a super robust, almost like RPG with provided characters. So, you know, you can choose if you want to play chaotic or if you want to be good, and there's totally different paths you can end up on depending on that. That's cool. The studio says we will have the power to make choices with consequences thanks to many outcomes in this deeply branching narrative, but we're still yet to see the gameplay itself. But we're still yet to see what the gameplay itself may look like. Interestingly, they actually opened a brand new studio to help support the game. The Paris HQ will be handling the bulk of writing and story, while the new team in America, staffed by former Square Enix Montreal, Eidos Montreal, and Ubisoft Montreal developers, will be handling the action and world design. Interesting. So they're actually bringing Square Enix devs, Eidos devs, and former Ubisoft devs together to build out the open world, if it's open, or at the very least the environments, and then the combat and all of that stuff, which I would guess they're a capable team. And honestly, that seems to be the best way to do this kind of thing. So I'm intrigued. I think the game looks pretty, at least in concept. It sounds pretty interesting. I could see it being actually kind of cool. And again, as a big fan of Detroit Become Human, I think that this is a layup. I think that this could be really, really good. And again, I heavily, heavily encourage you. If you are on PlayStation, go check out the game. It is included with PlayStation Plus Extra. Okay, it's included. It's $20 otherwise. And if you go to Steam, it's $40, but honestly, like, you could find it other places for very cheap, I would guess, assuming hypothetically. Yeah, very, very good. Very, very good. Heavily, heavily recommended. And there are so many branches of the story. Like, seriously, they show you a graph at the end of it, showing you all the different pathways that you could have gone. Let me see if I can just pull up an example. Yeah, here. This kind of gives you an idea. So I'm going to keep it zoomed out so you can't see specifics, so no spoilers. But seriously, like, the scene will start with just a couple of basic things that happen, and then there's just a ton of different paths you can go. And some of them might feed out to one central area over here. Some of them will call you down here and cause you to go down here, and that can just straight up end the storyline of that character. Over here, you see there's a bunch of different plot lines and stuff, ways that things can go. tons of different outcomes over here, and it's just super, super cool. During any given scene, there's probably a couple of ways for your character to just straight up die, and you just miss out on like the rest of their 10-hour journey. It's crazy. It's crazy. Highly, highly recommend it if you've not played it yourself somehow after all this time. Very good. Oh, the OG Witcher Enhanced Edition is free on GOG. Oh, good to know. Witcher Enhanced. Oh, maybe you, if you're logged in, it appears. For me, it still lists at 10. Yeah, this is one where I've said if any game needs a remake, it's this. Imagine the original Witcher rebuilt with Witcher 3 tools. Man, or The Witcher 2. That would be sick. That would be freaking sick, dude. It'd be freaking sweet, dude. So, anyway. End of segment. End of segment. Oh yeah, the Vision Pro is supposed to be releasing soon, isn't it? That's gonna be a thing that we will see. What's sad is it's gonna sell out everywhere though, dude. Like let's be honest, it's gonna sell out everywhere. Yeah, it is getting a remake. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm so happy. Like it's gonna get it, and if any game deserves it and needs it, honestly, it's that. It's that. Yeah, man, I've said before, like, oh, we could get this. We could try to do some like videos with it, like gaming on the Apple Vision Pro. I think people would click on it and try it. I don't know what games come to it day one. Maybe they're going to pay like buku bucks to get some exclusives or to bring over like Resident Evil on it or something. I don't know if it can run it. Because that's the other thing. This thing apparently uses like 4K displays in each eye. Like this is not going to be a lightweight device. Like it's going to take some firepower to run it. So I don't know what kind of games it would even be capable of running, but could be cool. It's just, this thing's going to go on sale probably in February, and it's going to be like $3,500 freaking dollars, and stupid hard to get a hold of. I have no doubt it's gonna sell out. Did you wind up keeping the 15 after you did the video on it? I did, which surprised me. I did mainly for the USB-C thing. It has been so nice to just bring a USB-C cable when I'm doing stuff. Like, so nice to just have one cable, one charging thing to worry about, and I just don't have to stress about any of the other crap. It's awesome. Like, that alone made me want to keep it. The other stuff, like the action button, is fine. It is more powerful. Being able to play like Resident Evil 4 Remake on it is super cool. So that's awesome, but all the other stuff, I mean, let's be real, it's just kind of more of the same. The other one, I think, like the iPhone 16 rumors. iPhone. Are there even any rumors at this point of what it's going to be? iPhone 16. That's what I want to know about. Rumors of the iPhone 16. Yeah, I don't think there's any real rumors. I know Apple apparently has been trying to get their own like Qualcomm chip basically, but that they design it in-house and they do their own thing with it. But apparently it's been such a nightmare. They can't get it working without overheating and then having terrible performance. So they're probably going to have like one of these iPhone models where the whole selling point is just that it has an Apple wireless chip, and it's probably going to work way worse than what is currently in the phones. iPhone 16 just leaked in extensive new renders. They look identical. Shocker. Yeah, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? It's just going to be more of the same. I did see Apple just got their stock downgraded again by a couple of rating firms because they are seeing big slips in the support and interest surrounding the iPhone. It's really struggling to catch on in the same way it has been. Which is crazy. What games have you played recently? Last night we just played Lethal Company, and that one was kind of cool. It's been going viral everywhere. I mean, everybody's seen it and heard of it before, but it was a good time. Like this is that game.
A lot of shit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, fire.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
Oh my god.
That's funny. A donkey did a video on it.
Alright, let's all check the right first.
In this spooky ass place, I'm leaving.
Come back. Oh.
So it uses proximity chat. So you have to use the in-game comms as opposed to like Discord, because when you're running through environments, it traces your audio. So like if you walk into this room over here, your audio is going to be much fainter and more echoey, just like if you actually went in that other room. So if you go too far from your group, you can't hear each other anymore unless you have a walkie-talkie, but the walkie-talkie burns energy, so you have to be careful with it, blah, blah, blah. But the whole premise is that you're going through these environments trying to collect different materials and scrap to sell back and meet your quota. Really simple. Super basic premise, but it's just a good time because like you'll be talking with your buddy and your buddy will just be like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna run in this room and just check on something real quick. Oh my god, no. And it's silent, and then you are like, what happened? And you hop over there and it's just a pool of blood. And when they die, they go and they start spectating you, and they can hear you and see everything you're doing, but they can't hear the killed character. So it just creates a really funny situation. Like last night we were playing, and at one point I went off to bring a big crate of stuff back to the ship to put it there. And then I was going to come back and meet back up with Corey and Michael, who were still going through the rest of the building together. And they were together. They were seemingly good to go, so we weren't that stressed. But I came back and I couldn't find them. I was calling out for them through the mic and nobody was saying anything. And then I turn a corner and I just see a pile of stuff. Just a pile of stuff, and then like splashes of blood everywhere. So I pick up all this stuff, keep it in my inventory, and I kind of poke my head around and I start looking. I don't see anything, and I'm like, I know these guys. They would not have just dropped all the stuff there. I think he's dead. So I grabbed all the stuff and raced back to the ship. And then I checked the computer terminal, and you can see where all of the other players are and track them. And I see that Corey, yep, his body is staying still. Corey seems to be dead. And Michael, his little dot on the screen is like slowly moving through the hallways and stuff. And I was like, oh, so he's still alive. That's crazy. And then at one point, it just stops moving completely. I was like, okay, I think he's dead now too. So I went and I launched the ship and we took off. And then, after you take off, everybody respawns and then you can hear each other again. And Corey's like, yeah, dude, I had a full inventory of stuff and then I died right next to the exit door. So that was a bummer, but you got the stuff and so we're good now. And Michael apparently had died before Corey and was just having his body dragged around the map by one of the monsters. And so on the screen, it looked like he was still alive, but he had been dead for like 10 minutes at that point. Pretty much the moment I left to go and take stuff back to the ship is when Michael died, and then Corey tried to survive for a little bit. But it was really cool because like you don't know if your buddies are alive or not, or if they're coming or if they're close. Like it actually worked pretty well. I don't think it's a game I'd play for thousands of hours, but it was a good, fun party game to play with friends. And, you know, I had much more fun playing it than if we had gone and like tried to play Warzone or something. So I was happy. I was happy. Anyway, yeah, it was cool. It was cool. I'm not familiar with the lore, so I don't know. Fahad, good to see you. Busta, hey Luke, watched one of your streams last week and you wanted to do a segment on AC Red, but you probably forgot about it. Still doing it, or should I just watch the latest Free Roam episode? We did not talk about it in the Free Roam episode today. If you're talking about the one from last week, yeah, I think we ran through at least some tidbits. As for a full segment, I was hoping we'd have a little bit more information to talk about. We'd have something, but so far there hasn't really been much. So I still want to do a segment on it, but I might wait until Monday and maybe we try it then and do a deep dive on it. I could see that. Let's see. Yeah, pillow horror. Yeah, it's like it's a mix of comedy and horror in a way that you might not have expected it to be. Apparently some people were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong in chat, guys, apparently some people were saying that there's like some monsters are more sensitive to audio, and so if you're talking or yelling really loudly in the game, it can, like, the monsters can hear that and respond to it. Is that a thing? I think that's a thing. Because it seemed like some character or some monsters were coming out much more frequently when we were talking loudly versus when we were trying to be more coy and cautious. Let's see. Joe also. Oh, geez, Joe. I'm sorry. Joe Mitchell re-upped his membership like half an hour ago or 45 minutes ago, and I missed it. What do you think they will do with God of War? I think that they do an Atreus spin-off game, and then after that I would love for them to go to Egypt. I'm actually starting to think that they might be pivoting and going to like South America, or something with the Aztecs and stuff, because there's some hints, no spoilers in case you haven't played it, but there's some hints that they might be doing that in the God of War Valhalla, or God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC thing that they dropped. And yeah, no spoilers, no specifics, but I got the hint that maybe they were going to be doing something like that. They were going to pivot off of Egypt because everybody kind of expects them to go to Egypt, and I think they are thinking maybe it's worth doing something unexpected. So we'll see. We'll see. The creepy enemy is the one that looks like one of your friends and will use the same sentences in their voice. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Luke, why do you think Xbox exclusivity dropped so hard in quality? I feel like they used to be on top during the 360 era. Well, games were very different back then. Like that was kind of before the age of the third-person adventure triple or quadruple A game as like the centerpiece. When Halo was at the top, of course, Xbox was at the top, but they've just struggled, and a lot of the talent left their studios that they owned, and now they're starting to dig themselves out of it. But the thing is, like, it's one thing to buy studios, and it's a whole other thing to enable those studios to do good work. And so they've bought like ZeniMax, they bought Activision Blizzard King, they've bought all these huge companies, but whether they actually see the benefit of that in a reasonable amount of time is still up in the air. Because it could be that Activision gets their work in line and they start killing it very, very quickly, and you know they're looking great. Or it could be that it takes 3-4 years to undo all of the Bobby Kotick era stuff, and we don't start to see really good games come out from those companies again until like 2027, 2028. That's very possible. So it's just hard to say. It's really hard to say. Yeah, Kratos did go to Egypt in the prequel comic, but let's be honest, the percentage of players who have read the comics is like 0.001% of people. So if they still wanted to go to Egypt, they could. They would do little nods and be like, Kratos is like, I remember this place. You know, they could do little stuff like that and still go. But that's another reason to think maybe they're going to go somewhere totally new. Luke, the new PlayStation channel just confirmed Silent Hill 2 remake is coming this year. Now it's going to be Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth versus that for Game of the Year, both remakes. Well, Steve, I the one thing I'll disagree with you on is that I do think Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth probably is in the discussions for Game of the Year. Just guesstimating. However, I don't know why people are just assuming Konami knows what they're doing. Like, why is everybody assuming that? That's a dangerous ass assumption. I'll tell you what, because Konami doesn't exactly have the best track record. Everybody's just assuming that it'll be great. And I don't get why. Like, why are we assuming this? You know? Like, list of Konami games. PC, can we just do them by year? Okay, PS5, eFootball, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga Collection, Super Bomberman R2, Signa, Metal Gear Solid Remastered Collection, Volume 1, and Super Crazy Rhythm Castle. And then Contra, Operation Galaga. You really think that these guys are gonna, like, nail it? Like, really? I don't know why we're just assuming that. That seems like a dangerous assumption. Because they haven't exactly been hitting it out of the park. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what right now. I don't think they've been doing that. So I would not assume that the remake is good. It could be a broken technical disaster. It could have tons of stuff missing. It could run at 540p. Who knows? Like, there's a lot of question marks around it. Lots and lots of question marks around it. Yeah, that's true. I think it's just such a beloved game, and people don't want to tell themselves it has a high chance of ended up being not good, and that includes me. Sure, and I mean, I hope it's good. I hope it's awesome. I hope it's a faithful reinvention or a faithful recreation of the original thing. Hopefully, yeah. But it's Konami. And so, like, we need to be careful not to call Konami out when it's fun and when it's games nobody really cares about. But then when it's a game we do care about, all of a sudden people are giving them the benefit of the doubt because they just really, really want it to be good. That's a dangerous, dangerous game to play, and it's a really good way to get burnt. Yeah, Konami's involved. Expectations are not high. Yeah. Exactly. Like, the reason that I think it's an assumed thing that we probably see a really solid performance for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is just because the last thing they did was so good. So everybody's like, yeah, they'll probably do very well this time as well. But even like we were saying with Joe Raptor on the podcast today, I think it's a dangerous assumption to also think that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth generates anywhere near the same level of interest and hype as the last one. Because the last one, it landed at a very interesting time within the generation. And also, I think it fit into like what a lot of people were looking for. It was a beautiful game graphically. It came at sort of the height of nostalgia boom, and all this stuff was working for it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth seems like it might be getting set up for another, let's just say another Final Fantasy 16 situation where the people that play it and love it really, really love it, but it doesn't really break into the mainstream very well. And that's kind of the thing I'm expecting. What are your thoughts about Hideo Kojima's OD? I don't think there's anything to make of it. Like, there's hardly anything we know about it except what is probably the worst trailer I've ever seen for a game ever. Followed by a bunch of 50-year-old men standing on stage for 10 minutes, patting each other on the back for how smart they are and how brilliant they are without giving any useful information. Like, that whole showcase was laughably terrible. Like, it was laughably terrible. And so does the game end up being bad? We have no reason to think that. Does it end up being good? We have no reason to think that. There's nothing to go off of. It's like if you ask me, Luke, what do you think of the game Sparkle Florm? I'm like, I haven't heard of Sparkle Florm. What is that game? And you're like, it's in the future. I'm like, okay. But there's nothing to go on. So I can't really offer my thoughts other than I've seen nothing useful about it, you know? It's a Hideo Kojima game. Yeah. And for some people, that's enough for it to be an automatic buy, in which case, okay. I was never going to calm you down anyways. But it's like we used to have a guy that watched the channel, and he would watch these videos, and it was around the time of Death Stranding. So, you know, it was at a time when Hideo was kind of at the center of a lot of discourse. And the dude would send me, no joke, like probably every 2-3 days, another email that's just pages, just paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of explanations of why Death Stranding was way better than I was giving it credit for, why it deserved Game of the Year, why Kojima was actually a genius, why if I didn't like certain things about the game, it was because I was being dismissive and I wasn't giving the game a fair shot. Or in one case, he sent me one which was just, I'm starting to think you might be too stupid to appreciate Hideo Kojima, or something to that effect. And it was just like, bro, chill out. I stopped responding to him because I was like, I think this guy just has a problem. Like, I think this guy has some sort of hyperfixation disorder, and he cannot think or talk about anything other than Kojima. And I made the mistake of giving him a little bit of attention for that hyperfixation, and so now he's just totally hooked and latched on to me. And eventually he kind of went away, and he probably found some other YouTuber, some other poor sap to do that with. But yeah, it was just kind of crazy, honestly. It was kind of crazy. It's one of the reasons, there were a lot of reasons we had to do it, but for a while I had to turn off all DMs. I had to turn off all Discord messages, all Twitter DMs, everything. Because there were just a lot of people kind of like that who started sending me messages and wanting me to like proofread their schoolwork and like, you name it, somebody probably asked me to do it. It was just very strange. And that was one of the guys that just didn't understand that, like, I'm down to talk with fans and viewers and stuff, but I don't have endless amounts of time, you know? I just don't. Yeah, and Ricky, I like the pandemic game. Yeah, it really resonated. Yeah, I still like playing Death Stranding. Like, I'll play it, and it's like my rainy day game when I'm just looking for something to turn my brain off to, or like if I want to watch excuse me, if I want to watch Breaking Bad on the side and then do something that I can turn my brain off for, I play Death Stranding, and it's great. It's great. I love it. Do I think the story is laughably stupid? Yeah. No, I think the story is laughably stupid. I think Kojima needed a co-writer or a co-director to slap him when he got off focus. You know, I think that's where it excels, and it fails in other aspects like the story. But some people just are not willing to have a more nuanced game other than, or a nuanced conversation about a game other than, no, Kojima is brilliant and everything is great. And if you disagree with me, you're too stupid. Like, that was the thing. I was like, where do you expect this to go? He's like, I think you're too stupid to understand why this game is great. I'm like, what do you expect me to do? Come to you and be like, you're right. Let's hop on a FaceTime call and let's spend 5 hours working through this. And you can explain to me how I'm too stupid to understand. Like, what did he think was going to happen? That I was going to be like, you're right. Lecture me. Like, what are we doing? It was so weird. Oh man. Real quick, guys, I realized I forgot to do this like 3 hours ago when we started the stream. I told one of you that I would watch the Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay that just dropped, and then I forgot about it for 4 hours or 3 hours, whatever it's been. So I guess I should do that now. Do you have a guilty pleasure game you don't think is very good, but like it? Guilty pleasure game I don't think is good, but I like playing anyways. I mean, the one I've mentioned before is Another Brick in the Mall. I've played that one a lot. It's got a lot of clunk, but it's just a feel-good sim game. So I'll mess with that. Those Stronghold Crusader games from like the early 2000s, I'll play those for fun. Because I kind of grew up playing them, and you know, they haven't aged super well in a lot of cases, but that's a fun one. Other games like this Lethal Company game we played last night, not a great game. It has a lot of problems, but it's fun, and that's kind of the whole point. You know, like that's kind of the whole point of all of gaming, is to have fun and have a good time. And so who cares if it's not like gonna win game of the year, if it's not artistically the most impressive thing? As long as you're having fun, who cares? You know, who cares? I play Stronghold 2 every Christmas. Yeah, because it's just feel good. It's just feel good junk food games. But yeah, that's probably the ones that jump out. I was gonna joke and be like chess, but chess is great. Let's be honest. Okay, sorry, Jacob. New segment. Okay, so someone earlier in the stream asked me, they sent like a super chat, I think, and asked me, I guess I could probably pull it up because it should still have it. Rango did ask earlier and sent in a super chat asking if I would look at the new Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay, because this just dropped like a couple of hours ago. And so I was like, yeah, sure. And then I forgot about it for like 3 hours while we rambled about Scientology and stuff. If you have not joined us live, if you're watching this in the stream clip or in the VOD or something, you absolutely should, because these streams are like an acid trip of ADHD, and it's awesome. I at least think it's awesome. I have a good time. But it means that we sometimes are a little slow to get to the point. So let's see this gameplay reveal thing that's just dropped and see how this game looks. I think the game in general looks really, really good as is. But apparently this is all the more impressive. I mean, the response so far has been really, really positive. I stand corrected. It was January 3rd. So it's not a few hours ago. This is like a few days ago. Ignore me. I'm a professional. IGN first.
This month's IGN first is Dragon's Dogma 2.
Okay, I'm sorry if you don't like me pausing it and offering my thoughts, then this is just not, like, go look up the video yourself. I'm sorry. This just reminds me of when I was like 19 or 20 making YouTube videos, and I thought everybody had to do the stereotypical YouTuber voice or the stereotypical like streamer voice. Okay, guys, let's all get on and talk about this video game today and rock and roll. Make sure to smash the like button. It just reminds me of that, because I remember my voice would go out because I wasn't talking like a human being. I was doing the YouTuber voice, and it would drive me crazy because I was like, how do people do this all the time? Then I realized, oh, I can just use my regular voice, talk like a human, and the videos will do the same. Like, nobody actually cares that much as long as your voice isn't too grating, right? But this like yelling intro always makes me think of that. A lot of YouTubers do it, to be fair.
This month's IGN first is Dragon's Dogma 2. All throughout the month of January, we've got brand new gameplay, interviews, deep dives, impressions, exciting reveals, and more.
Deep dives, impressions?
About 10 hours of the game, so we've got plenty of ground to cover.
Plenty of ground.
To kick things off, here's a collection of gameplay clips covering footage of the fighter, thief, warrior, and sorcerer vocations. Make sure to keep an eye on this space for more Dragon's Dogma 2 all throughout the month.
Oh, baby. I actually do think, you know, we were talking in the podcast beforehand with Joraptor. I actually think that this is one of those games that probably initially does well with its niche. Like, the people that are already interested in Dragon's Dogma are going to play this and have a great time, I'm sure. But I do think this is going to get like a big influx of players after the fact, maybe like a week or two after launch, because this is a game, I think, where you're going to have a lot of people that are making like TikTok clips, are making stream clips and YouTube videos and stuff that goes viral on the game and the big boss fights and stuff. And I think it'll spread really organically. So I would guess this is one of those games that has a slightly delayed I guess, boom of initial excitement and interest. That's at least the vibe I'm getting from it, because I think graphically it looks really cool. There's a lot of big budget set pieces and crazy cool boss fights. There's a lot of variability within combat and gameplay, so you can expect to see a lot of different play styles come out of it. So once somebody starts watching videos and their TikTok algorithm or YouTube Shorts algorithm gets catered towards that, you're going to see them getting recommended a ton of different highly varied videos on the game. So I think that this is going to pop off. I think it just might take a little bit of extra time. But, I mean, the combat looks really smooth. The game looks graphically pretty good. This is a sequence I think we've already seen. This is just with a different build. Yeah, because he breaks out of the rocks. It's like a little rock troll. So we've seen these sequences before. I think this is just a fresh build, a different approach to it. We got Gandalf in the corner. But they're showing all sorts of different play styles, ways you can do it. You can blow up these rocks with the water spraying out of it, and it'll wash the troll away, dealing extra damage to it. Boom. And then it slams him into the rocks. Booyah! Look at him go. Did it kill him or just wash him away? Did it kill him? No, it didn't kill him. He's just knocked out. Okay. Isn't that great? So I think clips like this are going to go viral. I think that the game is going to be quite successful after the fact. I just hope that there's a lot of these big boss fights and stuff. I could actually see this also scratching the Monster Hunter itch. You guys know what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying? You know, I think that that's a spot where I wasn't initially thinking, but I think you could actually see a lot of like Monster Hunter players having fun with this. Not to mention, it is a very robust action RPG from the looks of it. So I think there's going to be a lot of game here if people are looking for it. There's going to be a lot to sink your teeth into. There's also, is this bad? Okay, I'm just going to point this out because this is something I didn't realize made me uncomfortable. You know how rhinos have that like super thick skin that's like, it's basically like a meat skirt of armor. This guy has it too. Like you see this crease right here where like his skin is there's too much skin, but it's like that for a reason because it's basically armor and it spills over his joint to protect him. That gives me like the heebie-jeebies. It freaks me out. Same thing with like a rhino. When you see rhinos with that, a rhinoceros. We saw one at the zoo and it gave me the heebie-jeebies there. And I was like, what? Why is this freaking me out? This is a weird thing. But like this, see? With like the skin that's armored and it basically overlaps to protect their joints. There's a real reason it's there. Makes sense. But it just, ugh, I don't like it. I don't know. It's stupid. I'll shut up. I'll shut up now. I'm sorry.
You'll not live to regret this. Use this fire to ignite our foes.
Grab the titty. Oh, jeez. Also, the little touches. Look how cool that was when the fire effect hit. Watch as it like spreads over his body. That was cool. Look at this. Look at that. Love it.
You have my gratitude, sir. It would seem I misjudged you.
Oh, big boy.
Do you mind coming over here?
Just a giant, or is it another troll?
I grant you roaring flame.
No one can defend themselves when grappled like this.
And then the climbing mechanic seems super cool. It's like Shadow of the Colossus. That looks pretty fire. Done like no damage to him. Assuming that's the health bar, right? Oh, and he plops his butt on him.
Let my magics grant you with elemental food.
We need to do more than that. I will also say, I do think this is going to be one of those games that looks way better in person too. It already looks really good, but with how fine the grass is, this is like a video encoder's nightmare. And so, like, I'm seeing every once in a while you get a keyframe drop in and it's really crisp again. But in between that, it gets really blurry and muddy. Like down here, you know, see how muddy all that is? You can't even make out a single strand of grass anymore. It's just mud. So I think playing this in person, it's just going to look even better. How did they get him down? See, they stunned him somehow. Oh, they just knocked him. Okay. Man. They did him dirty. Golly. Man.
A material. Useful things, these.
The different combinations of materials result in different creations.
What's this guy? It's a Bigfoot. Wow.
You'll not live to regret this.
Great sword player, love it. Man, they are messing him up. I see he's got 2 health bars. He's got 2 full ones. Okay.
Very well. Our foe stumbles. Just one more push short to bring it down.
I wonder if you can turn off the dialogue.
Let us finish this.
Because I can see that getting really annoying. Ah, yes, our opponent is weaker. Finish him. Push in.
Headlong into battle. Let us watch our foe carefully to determine our best strategy here.
Nice. Oh, that was beautiful. Stab right in the noggin. That was cool though. Just straight up jump on his head. Oh, just the drop kick. Man.
Feast your eyes on this.
Oh, almost went off the bridge. Just a guy like, what's going on, guys? They never said NPC intelligence was top of the priority list. Big swing. Oh, yeah. The fire. If you ever see any enemy in a video game with fur, fire.
Strike hard enough, we might not have to do this twice.
The moment of victory is at hand. Let us finish this.
Oh, yet another one. Jesus. Oh, they knocked him down. Oh no, he's smacking him in the nuts. Oh. Yeah, dude, it's giving me more Monster Hunter vibes than I remember it giving me. In a really good way. Like, I love Monster Hunter. Oh no! Rothgar! Not Rothgar! He just chucked him. Oh, cool. So he picked up the down guy. Oh, and he finished Greg. Poor Greg. Like, it's a little more focused. You know, the monsters aren't going to run off and try to run away. At least not that I've seen, but...
The moment of victory is at hand. Let us finish this.
He's close, boys. Nice. Booyah. Plus 42 health, stamina, max encumbrance, defense, magic, and strength. Man, it looks pretty fire. It looks pretty fire. They have one more boss fight after this, it looks like, where they take on another troll. Yeah. So, I mean, all told, I think the game looks really good. I'm hoping that there's a lot of highly varied encounters and not just a bunch of trolls and Bigfoot. We've seen a handful of others, so this just seems to be, you know, the particular thing that they're showing off in these gameplay previews, because they want to save some stuff for launch, of course. But it looks really fun. It looks very interesting. And I like I said before, I think this could be one of the surprise hits of the year. This could be one of the games that goes viral, because it seems like every few months, like maybe every 3-4 months, there's one game that just goes crazy viral through TikTok and YouTube Shorts and stuff. And everybody starts playing it because it's the game everybody's talking about. And maybe it burns out. Maybe it ends up being a long-term sustained thing. But in this case, I could totally see this being one of those games where clips of fighting huge monsters and stuff go viral. People are like, ooh, that looks cool, and decide to try it themselves. So I'm interested. I'm very interested. It says early gameplay in the title also. Might that indicate that we will get late gameplay trailer with advanced skills and display? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It could also be that they just really want to stress that it's early in the game. So it's like, don't worry about spoilers. You can see this and it won't spoil the game. It's okay. Because these characters, I mean, the first fight was what, level 7 to 8, I think is where they leveled up to after they killed him. I believe. Yeah, they down him and then they chop, chop, chop. And it's like right up here. So he gets down and then they go level 8. Yeah. So they were at level 7. So that's probably pretty early in the game. Have they said what max level is? Or is there any reason to think what it is? Is it like the previous game's max level was 100 or something? I would assume that it's probably relatively early in the game. And so that would give good reason to think that. One thing I'm worried about is the reliance on upscaling like FSR2. Because off in the distance, it could be compression as well, but off in the distance, there's this like checkerboarding thing. And a lot of the artifacts for AI upscaling stuff get kind of covered up with blurry compression like through YouTube videos and stuff. And so it could be the case that they're using like really aggressive FSR upscaling to hit a higher frame rate or a steady frame rate, which could give us this kind of distortion and this artifacting. It's not necessarily a given, but it's certainly possible. And if that is the case, this is definitely a PC game, because that upscaling stuff looks rough. Looks really rough. Oh Jesus, max level for Dragon's Dogma 2 was level 200. So if that's the case, then yeah, this is very early. if it's level 200 is max. Oh man, yeah, this is pretty early. Yeah, that's very early. Jeez. Well, I guess I should ask, how many hours would it take you to get to 200? I guess maybe that's the important question. Oh, and Jesus, Sean, thank you for the super chat over on YouTube. Sean, can we have a quick yarn, bud? The first Dragon's Dogma was a sleeper hit. Yeah, I mean, I remember everybody talking about it. It just didn't seem to really hit mainstream appeal, is what it seemed like. As for quick yarn, let me see. It is 2:52. I think I got 5 minutes because I was planning on wrapping up at 3. So yeah, we could chat for a few minutes. You guys want to say hi to Sean? Let me see if I can do this. That's the wrong window. Oh, it's because I've opened an Opera. Okay. Demand Elden Ring DLC. Yeah. You can one shot everything at level 70. Oh, you can beat the game around 70. It just, you can go up to 200 if you want. Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, Sean, I'll just call you on Discord, Sean. I can do that. Let me see if I have it turned on correctly. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey, there you are.
Can you hear me all right?
I can. Can people in chat hear you? Let's see if they respond. Can you guys hear Sean? Maybe.
I don't hear. Yes,
sir. Okay, boom. Yeah. Okay, Sean, we got 5 minutes. Tell us spin your yarn.
5 minutes? Jesus. So much.
An open road, a highway, as it were.
Right here. What I was going to... it's freeway in Australia, mate.
It's what?
It's a freeway.
Oh, yeah. Here we have, we have freeways here too. What's the difference between a freeway and a highway?
Nothing.
Is it really just interchangeable?
Yeah.
Oh, some people are saying expressway. Who calls it an expressway?
Do you know what we call it? Motorway.
Oh, motorway. Oh, that's fancy. Let's see.
Motorway in Ireland.
A motor. Oh, because do you say like, is it driving a car, or do you call it like, oh, I'm driving my auto? Because I've heard some people in like Europe and the UK will be like, oh yeah, I have to hop in my auto. Is that a thing?
No, we don't do that. We're getting in the car and that's it.
You're just getting in the car. Yeah. Well, that's how I say it. It's the same thing with like soda and pop, and you know, some people just have different ways of saying it. This apparently, I Googled it, and it says freeways are usually found in urban areas and have higher speed limits than highways. So highways are apparently just freeways that are slower. So there you go. There you go, everybody.
Oh.
Or I guess technically it's like highway was defined by these things, which are like the super raised interchanges and stuff that are high. So they're highways, but freeways could just be like the 4 or 5, 6 lane, same thing. I want to call them highways because that's what we call them. But the freeways are just like that, but on the ground level. So I guess it's all the same thing at the end of the day. The more you know.
That's it. It's true.
Mickey D. Oh, you guys can't make me hungry. They do call McDonald's something weird. Do you guys call McDonald's weird?
And the Aussies call it Macca's.
No, really? Are you pulling on my leg? That sounds made up.
No, they go, let's go to Macca's.
That's insane. Does corporate back that up? Like, do they call themselves that too, or is that just like the slang term for it?
Yeah, no, actually, I've seen some golden arches say Macca's instead of McDonald's.
Really? Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Wait, and Lucas is saying in Australia, Burger King is called Hungry Jack's.
Yeah, there was some court case about that.
What? Okay, this is breaking my brain. Why do you call it something like? Why do they call it something different? I don't get it.
A guy had a burger van or something. But some fella had a burger van, and he called himself Burger King, and he took them on.
Oh yeah, dude, I just Googled it. If you Google Macca's, Maccas.
Yep.
It's just McDonald's Australia, and it's the official website of, and this is their official thing. Let me see. Is in the text that they just had on the screen. Let's see. No, that's not it. And it was in the subheader, but it was this. Yeah, the official website of Macca's Australia is what it says. That's madness. I had absolutely no idea that, and it's a registered trademark there. So like McDonald's owns the trade. That's crazy. Oh, maybe because of Big Mac or McDonald's. That's weird to me.
Nah, they're just Aussies are weirdos.
Oh man, all of Australia just seems to be like its own little universe.
Who else is on the phone?
Huh?
Someone else on the phone.
Someone else is on the call? I don't see anybody else.
I can hear someone else talking.
Oh, is it the echo from the stream? I might have my chat mic enabled with the Discord call for when we were doing the podcast. So maybe it's just echoing?
Yes. It is echoing. Yep.
Yeah, I bet that's it. Yeah, everybody's like glad Sean could back it up. Yeah, if chat had told me, oh yeah, dude, McDonald's is actually Macca's in Australia, I would have been like, okay, guys, Australians are people too. We don't have to make up crazy stuff about them. It's okay. It turns out it's true. Jeez. Wow. It's Ronald Mr. Macca McDonald in Australia. Dude, my brain is just so broken after all that. Yeah, their official Twitter /X page is at Macca's. Okay, this is I don't even know what to do with this information. My brain is just broken. This is gonna be my new fun party pack.
What the hell are you doing?
Sorry, my my lungs are giving up. They're just like they can't handle this information either. I don't even know what to do with it. Okay. Well,
look, see, to be honest with you, I haven't had McDonald's in years.
Oh really? Sometimes it hits the spot. I'll tell you what. Sometimes I could go for it, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm proud.
Oh no, yeah, that's it. It's fast food. That's what it's for.
Yeah, it's we also Nikki has like a coffee addiction. You know, she goes hard for caffeine. She has been breaking it. Yeah, she's making progress.
Say hi to Nikki kids for me.
Yeah, absolutely will. Yeah, they've been very good. I think they're currently hanging out with grandma while Nikki.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she had an appointment to go to, so they're having a good time. But yeah, Nikki, she for a while before Orion and everything. Before she got pregnant with Orion, she was doing like the nitro cold brew things. And I don't know if you guys know those, but nitro cold brew is like super heavy duty caffeine, like super bad.
Is that the one that's been imported here? And 2 people have died from taking too much of it?
It's possible. I know that was the thing with Panera Bread with their lemonade. I don't know if that was also a thing in Australia with Starbucks, but like Starbucks, they do have to or nitro cold brew, that's what I was trying to look up. It's a cold brew.
Cold brew,
yeah, it's really cool. They're beautiful. They have like this they almost look like a pint of Guinness, honestly, when they're poured. I pulled it up on stream.
I make my own cold brew. It's really good.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's cold brew is great because it gets you the dark flavor without as much of the bitterness, which is great.
Correct. Yeah.
But this stuff is so heavy in caffeine in at least Colorado. I'm not sure if it's countrywide, but in Colorado, they can't sell the largest size. They can't sell ventis of these because there's too much caffeine. It breaks like FDA regulations for the max caffeine in a single drink.
There was a movie with Paul Rudd, and he was arguing the venti is 20.
Oh yeah, I do remember that actually. He's like, and actually, grande means large. Yeah.
Him and what did you call that rocket from? They were on parole.
Oh.
Well, but they drove the big monster truck for an energy drink.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not up to date on my monster truck lore.
No, it was in the movie.
I thought you meant like an actual monster truck.
Stifler, is it? Stifler was in it.
Oh man, it's been so long. I have no idea. I'd just be making it up. I was like, oh man. Oh, Cosmics. Oh yeah, I forgot they're doing this. McDonald's is trying to do their own like Starbucks basically, so they're trying to come in and make their own little like coffee shops with drive-throughs called
McCafe. Yeah, it's kicked off here big time.
Oh really? I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah. So it's pretty much a drive-through for the tradies, but you can go in and there is a cafe spot.
Oh. It's not a bad idea, honestly, with like
Oh,
people love the routine of Starbucks, like going through the drive-through, getting their thing. I tried a McDonald's coffee, and honestly, it wasn't bad. And honestly, like compared to my local Starbucks, they screw up the coffee so much at that Starbucks that it's insane. Because you'll pay like $6 for a cup of coffee, and it's like half the time it's wrong and it's bad. At least McDonald's, it seems like it's always consistent.
Yeah, and it's quick. Like even that, I'll have a McDonald's coffee when I'm on night shift because they're open.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty convenient.
I think it's good. Oh, film guy saying American coffee is awful. Well, it depends on what you mean by coffee, because I agree. Like most American coffee is not coffee. It's just a bunch of syrups and like pumpkin spice latte stuff. It's not actual coffee.
Yeah, everyone. What's with the What's with all that?
I think it's just that people like sugary drinks, but coffee, it just sounds sophisticated. Like when people say, oh, I'm going to get a milkshake, people judge you. But when you go and say, oh, I'm going to go get a coffee, and you still are basically ordering a milkshake, it makes them feel better about themselves, you know?
I was home. I was home and I went to Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
And my sister and the aunt went into some clothing shop, and so I'm out outside Starbucks with my coffee, and I'm having a smoke, and my sister just looks me up and down, and says, "You're such a white girl."
I've gotten that before because I like my I've had to shake it recently. I like my sugary quote unquote white girl drinks as well. It's kind of a problem, but I realized I had this moment of realization one day. Somebody in chat, we were streaming years ago, maybe like 2-3 years ago, and I had like broken out really bad on my face, and like my face was so oily you could see it like glistening, and people, it was always a struggle I had dealt with, but somebody said, Luke, highly recommend try to cut sugar out of your diet as much as you can, and dairy. They were like, dairy is a surprise thing people don't really think of. And so I did that, and I only ever started getting stuff with like oat milk or macadamia nut milk or something like that without dairy in it. And like within 2 days, it was like I was a different person. It was crazy.
Clear up.
Yeah. I had never really thought of it, but sugar is bad for like everybody. And then some people, myself included, apparently, dairy causes major issues with breakouts. Yeah, Spencer, this is the Sean. This is the Sean. The Sean.
Who's that?
Spencer in chat asking, is this the Sean? Yeah, this is the Sean.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're on the big TV. That's what I need your advice.
Yeah.
I've got $3,000 to burn today, and I need a TV. Woo.
Okay. How big?
I want to go 85.
Okay.
Why not? Treat myself.
Yeah, I'm trying. Let's see. What was it called? It was like I'm trying to remember all the names of the TVs. The room that you're in, is the room like, does it have a lot of ambient light? Does it have like windows and stuff in it, or is it kind of dark?
Yeah, big slide doors, big sliding glass doors.
Okay. Because with those, like if it's a really dark space, LG or Sony are great. If it's really bright as a space, you need a TV that's also really bright to hold its own. And that's where usually Samsung excels. And I just pulled it up. Samsung does have, you'll have to see what the pricing is like where you are, because it's probably different. But on the Samsung website, if you go sort by size, you can go 85. And pretty much all of these, anti-glare, that's going to be very, very nice. So like this one, the QN90C.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's
that is nice.
Where I'm at, it's $2,000 off. I don't know what it's like where you are.
Well, there's places here that can price match from Amazon, which I didn't know. and Amazon's having their New Year sale.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I would go I would check out this QN90C.
The QLED.
Yeah, because those TVs are super bright. The anti-glare is going to be great, so you're not going to get all those crazy reflections if the sun is setting or rising. And these things are also like stupid thin, so if you want to mount it on the wall, it looks like a painting hung. Like it does not look like a TV.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Like at the minute, I've got 65-inch Hisense.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's a good TV, but I just want to, you know what I mean? I'm on my own.
Gotta treat yourself.
Treat myself.
Yeah. Treat yourself.
I bought myself a new phone. Bought the Samsung Flip.
Oh yeah. Nikki had one of those for a while, actually.
The Flip 5 I got.
Yeah, you got to treat yourself. Like, what's the point of working hard if you can't hardly work sometimes,
That's right,
you know?
yeah. That's right, because I go back to work on the 10th, and it's straight into chaos.
Yeah, no, I believe it with what you do. I mean, you're juggling a lot of crap.
Yeah, everything's going on. Everything. The other thing, speaking of gaming, I've got the ROG, the Steam Deck, and the Legion Go.
Oh yeah, so you've tried them all. I have the RG Ally and the Steam Deck. I've not gotten the Legion. What's your favorite out of all of them, though?
Mate, I've been using the Legion more.
Why?
Battery life is pretty better than the ROG. The ROG burnt the SD doesn't work, you know.
Yeah.
I bought a 1.5 SD for the Legion.
Mm-hmm.
My friend has put 2 terabyte SSD, sorry.
Oh yeah, you're
into
set
the
up.
ROG and the Steam Deck.
I mean, the battery life alone, I think, makes sense because like the battery life on the ROG is not great.
It's crap, mate. It is crap.
Yeah. Oh, Lazy Fishy. Yo, Luke, had fun watching for 10 days tomorrow. I will be gone for military training, so have an amazing day, man. Oh, Lazy Fishy.
Hey,
good luck with that.
Service.
Yeah. Good luck. Good on you.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, for real. And good luck with it. Military training. My brother went and did like the basic training when he joined the National Guard, and my dad was a Marine, and he's got all his stories about it. So it's going to be a lot.
I done my basic training.
Oh yeah.
But it was a different army.
It was a different thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you about me thing. What do you call it? My dating adventures. Are you ready?
Oh yeah. Give us. Oh Jesus.
Okay.
Here, I'll text.
Here we go.
I'll text
Here
them.
we go.
I can buy like probably. I'll probably be fine if I leave by 3:20. So yeah, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Give us your dating story. I want to hear it.
I've got 2. They're quick.
Okay.
Don't stress.
Okay.
Right. First one. Gorgeous Lebanese girl.
Cat.
Picks a restaurant. I book it, and head down to the place. I'm standing outside, and I open the door. Let her go in first. And the two of us are sitting down. Next thing, her friend comes in.
I'm guessing unannounced.
And sits down. Unannounced. So fucking dinner for three. Dinner for free. So and then they're starting to like interrogate me. Like asking me, do you do your own laundry? Yeah, of course. Do you do your dishes? Yeah, of course I do. Jesus, I live by myself. And then they're like talking in Lebanese to each other and nodding in approval as if Then they started getting heavy and going like, what? So your job and how much do you earn? And so I just politely says, I need to go to the lavatory. I paid the bill and I walked out.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't know if I would have even paid the bill. I think if you invite somebody else for like a free meal without telling the other person, like you forfeited your right to get it paid for. You know, that's crazy.
Well, the next day I asked to get a girl in work, and she says, "Yeah, Sean, it's no, that's a bit normal."
Really?
Yeah. The free dinners, yeah.
I guess I've been out of the game too long. That just seems insane to me. Like I've heard the horror stories, but like
fucking cheeky.
If that happened to me, I'd just be like, "What are we doing? What are we doing?" Like, and then to ask you, like, it's one thing if they're like, "So, are you a serial killer?" But they're asking you, like, "Do you do your own laundry?" Like,
yeah, they were, but asking how much do you earn?
Yeah, that's
yeah. How much do you earn? And then they're speaking in Lebanese as if, oh yeah, we approve him. He's very good.
Man, wow. I'm still just like blown away that the balls to to just show up and then expect
Isn't
you to just cover it. It's crazy.
Yeah, fucking crazy, man. And then the next one was last week.
What did they do this time?
So the next one was last week, and we were just planning a lunch, not even lunch, coffee. And she turned up, and she seemed all right, but slurring her words a bit. And she was ordering, she didn't want coffee. She started ordering a wee Chardonnay.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, she was a fucking train wreck. Absolute pissed.
So it sounds like she had been pre-gaming for the date and then showed up, drank more.
She must have had like Dutch courage or something. I don't know.
That's crazy. That's wow.
And so she's that fucking drunk. I had to drive her home.
Oh no! So it went from a date to you turned into the babysitter and Uber driver.
An Uber driver, yeah. And it's fucked. And she lived on the other side of Melbourne. So it took me an hour to get fucking over. And where do you live? Like, where do you live? And I couldn't understand a word of her. She's trying to direct me with her hands.
Man, you gotta write all these down because it's just amazing. Like,
I'm getting off these fucking dating sites. This is crap. What happened to the old school blind dates? You know what I mean?
Yeah, blind date, or like just the thing where like my best man at my wedding, he went and he was just at a bar and met his now wife, and they have a kid together, and he just met her at a bar one night when he was out there, and they talked and.
Yeah, that was the way it was, man. That was the way it was.
I mean, to be fair, this was like I don't know how many years, maybe like 5 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago that he met her. So it's relatively recent. You could probably do that too. Be seen as old fashioned, because there's got to be girls out there that are also just as frustrated. Because for every story where, like, you know, you're experiencing these train wrecks in dating, there's also got to be girls that are dealing with guys who are also just train wrecks. So surely,
yes. There's the old bodybuilders fucking in the mirrors and all that shit.
just yeah, it's I think there's
gotta be
people out there.
There's gotta be a grain of truth, Luke, because my sister met her fiance 4 years ago on one of them. So,
no, I mean, I think it can work. It's just sifting through a lot of rough dates. I remember going on one where it was like a Tinder date or something, and in hindsight, I realized what they had done, but it was like that thing where somebody has the pictures of themselves and they're all pictures of them in like groups together. And so like the girl in the center, oh, Crisco, I'll get to that in just a second.
Good on you, Crisco.
Yeah, buddy. She was like, all the pictures were her in the group of like maybe 2-3 friends. And they were all pictures from probably like 5 years before. It looked like maybe first year of college, basically. And
catfish.
Yeah, like when we met up and when I saw her, I was like, okay, so those pictures were a while ago. And
okay, so you've turned into Jabba the Hutt.
like, well, the thing that's frustrating is like they know that what they're doing. Like, she had one friend that was just stunning. And that friend was always in the center of the pictures that she uploaded to like her Tinder profile, with it like slightly zoomed in on her friend. So she knew that her friend was the one pulling in the attention and that she's like in the background of the picture and you just can't really tell. But it was like, what is the end game? Like, we're going to go on the date and then I'm going to be like, not upset that you basically lied to me about who you were. Like, physical attraction is part of the equation here that kind of matters. But for some reason they just like are expecting you to forget about that part. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah. You're 100% right, man. You're 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Godspeed with it. It's, you know, it has lots of funny stories after the fact, but when you're in the moment driving a plastered girl.
In the moment, I'll laugh with it after. Like, I did have a chuckle to myself, you know.
Oh, I bet. I mean, it's just these stories are funny after the fact. When you're in the moment, it's a nightmare. But I'm sure after the fact, as long as you can keep kind of a lighthearted approach to it, you can have a good time.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, look, I just laughed. It is what it is. I might lie low because work's going to be busy anyway, so
yeah,
and just do a bit of creeping on them and see who's there.
I'm not sure that's what the word we should use for it, though. A little bit of creeping.
You know what I mean. Just a bit of shopping, window shopping.
Just keeping your options open, keeping your eyes and ears open. Yeah, that makes sense. And Crisco, also, thank you for the $5 super chat. Happy New Year,
Crisco.
Yeah, buddy. Do you have an update on PAX yet? Not yet. That actually reminds me. Let me make a note. I will send them a follow-up because I haven't heard back from my latest email. So
yes, Luke, we can have a regular segment, life stories.
Yeah, we got to have like a whole little intro song, a little ditty, just like, let's check in with Sean, see what's going on.
Someone's asked on the chat, can life stories with Sean be a regular segment?
I'm down. It's always it's always entertaining, and just when you think you've heard the most ridiculous story yet.
The life of a 40-year-old single man. Easy.
Yeah, I think it works. It's a compelling show. I'd watch it. Why isn't Netflix greenlighting these?
Happy days.
Oh yeah, shooting the shit with Sean. That's good. I like that.
I love it.
That's really good. Okay. Well, my friend, I do have to run. I do have to run. This was wonderful. And I'm sure everybody else got a kick out of it as well. You stay safe, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yes, mate. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you after.
Okay, sounds good. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Very good.
Oh, Sean, what a hoot. What a hoot. Every time we touch base again, it's always so funny to me. Because like just when you thought you heard the most like crazy story of trying to date in the modern day, it just gets crazier. I don't know if it's Australia or if it's Sean's luck or what, but it's always amazing to me. Yeah, shooting the shit with Sean. I love that. That's wonderful. Okay, well, everybody, I do have to run. I do have to go. This has been fantastic. You guys are wonderful. We got some good segments in. I will be back on Monday. Regularly scheduled programming will resume. We'll be back in the regular swing of things. So don't you worry about that. But with all this, thank you for watching. Thanks for chilling. Go check out the new video on the main channel. Help me out there. And until Monday, much love. I'll see you very, very soon. Hugs and kisses.